Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star review so we can continue to give you the ish that we talk. And now that is out the way, I will not act like I'm on AM fucking radio. What the fuck's the deal? All of you ugly motherfuckers. What's poppin'? I'm here with you. We here together. We gonna make this shit pop. Lindsay, what the fuck is going on? My dog.
Like, what will be a breaking point for you where you just like, you know what? I'm out.
Yeah, so I was about to say this is where we asked the audience.
Yeah.
So
you already
said cheating, right?
Yeah. Cheating.
Okay.
So
Anybody
else? You're not giving a pass or nothing like that.
There ain't no way.
That's no way.
Do it once and do it twice. There ain't no way. You lose respect for yourself.
So it's like if it's just cheating for her, like so if it's cheating for you the same way too? Yeah. So like if you cheat, do you feel like I need to leave this relationship?
If I would ever cheat, I would leave you first.
Oh, you such a gentleman.
I do what I do.
You such a gentleman. That shit don't happen in real life, but you such a gentleman. Anything else?
In the moment.
In the moment.
That's different. I wouldn't be in the moment.
So you wouldn't put yourself in the moment. I got you.
Yeah. Like, make it make sense. Like, cause what's the moment?
When I decide it's the moment, it's the moment.
Oh, okay.
If I never say to myself, like, I should probably get out of here.
So like, do the whole time you just like, oh no, this cool. This ain't. We just chilling. She just wanna rub my back. That's cool. Ain't nobody tripping. It's like, oh, okay. Okay, ooh. All right, you ain't gotta kiss my neck. That's okay. Cool. This is not the moment yet.
Not yet.
It's not the moment yet.
I didn't do it.
So it's like, now my pants is down. This is.
If she pulls him down.
Oh, this ain't the moment. This ain't the moment. This ain't the moment.
She did it.
This ain't the moment. So when is the moment? When you're done, you like, oh, yeah, this is the moment.
This sad, bro. I'm like, oh. I was supposed to go to the store. I was gone for 2 hours.
I had to go get my bro,
that's
right?
The moment, yep.
That's the moment.
That's the moment.
Okay, so that's your.
What you
So this is cheating for you. Like, if she cheats, oh hell no. But like, I just had to wait on the moment. Like, no. That's ain't the moment. That wasn't the moment. No, she sucked my I didn't ask for it.
I don't say the words.
It's like, no, I didn't know. You know when I feel something wrong, baby, I'm gonna just tell you the truth. When she was like, I was like, maybe it's time for me. Ain't no restaurateur gonna run up on Keith Lee. Let's just end that shit right there. Y'all talk a lot of shit, but y'all not about to run up on. Ain't nobody about to run up on him, slap no food out his face, and tell him, bitch, what? Like, that's just not gonna happen to you in no way, shape, possible.
So Saucy Santana got in on it. He pretty much was like, tag me in. And he snapped on DJ Academics and told him to pull up. He was like, go to my page. We got all kinds of bookings. We outside. Come pull up at one of the bookings, and I'll beat your motherfucking
ass. Saucy Santana just doesn't look like the homosexual man that you gonna hit, and he look like that dude off of Low Down Dirty Shades. He ain't about to grab his face and be like, "Oh, Bernard,
him, you slut, Bernard."
He about to beat the dog shit out of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm laughing because it's gonna be so funny because you're gonna see a dude massively beating the shit out of a man with an open fist, and you gonna hear bitch.
What is the deal, everybody? This is the Issue We Talk. You already know who I am. I am Lily Parker, bro. Ish talking for my TikTok listeners. I am with the phenom, the lady that pushes the bells and the whistles, the 6 foot do-gooder, the blonde bombshell, the lady who, if it wasn't for her, it would not be no me. That is the honest to God truth. Y'all wouldn't know me on the interweb. So let's give a round of applause for my dog, my confidant, and my friend and family, Lindsay.
Hello, how's it going?
And you know what this is? Again, this is the Ish We Talk. We got the pleasantries out the way, but I always want to give a shout out to Twitch, and I always want to give a shout out to TikTok. We are live on TikTok right now. So if I'm sorry, you said what?
I said, yep.
Yeah. So if you want to jump in, say whatever. I don't care if it's disrespectful, because I'm gonna be disrespectful right back. Let's do it.
Yep. So we have Ashton Sanders is watching. Hey Ashton, he says, why that nigga lying to himself? I think he's talking about the intro.
Man, listen.
Because it ain't the moment, right?
Hey man, he was trying to prove a point, and that point was false.
Right.
It was just false.
Debunked. Pretty
You
fast.
know,
Yeah.
You're not gonna be around a woman that you know wanna knock down all 3 of your inches, and you think it's gonna be just a common law cool day. Y'all just not about to just hang out and think everything's cool. She want to put her pinky. She want to put your pinky in her mouth, and you're gonna let it happen. You gonna let it happen. If you allow her to hang out with you like that, and you know what type of time she's on, you know you're gonna let her do that shit. I'm gonna just be honest as a man. Like that's why you have to show discipline, gentlemen. Like you gotta know, because women are forward. Women will tell you what they want to do anyway. So if you continue to be like, oh nah, it's gonna be cool, you lying to yourself.
Well, all right.
I mean, just honest to God truth. You gotta know, if a woman tell you, "Oh, you so sexy, you so fine, boy. If you was mine, I would blah 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 blah." You think you just about to go to Walmart with this hoe? Man, you about to hit them walls. That's what you about to do.
So you're gonna go to Walmart after?
Nah, you ain't. If you go to Walmart, it's only to pick up a Plan B because you came there unprotected.
Well, maybe you should go to Walmart before and pick up condoms.
And I'm not touching Walmart. I'm not even going around her. Let me just say that. I've learned my lesson a long time ago, ladies and gentlemen. And now that I have a son, you know what I don't want to do is have that nigga drive off because I made a terrible mistake. Just being honest.
Right. Well, yeah, this is the Ish We Talk. Yep. So, yeah, it's been a week. You ready to get into the topics?
Let's get into these topics.
All right. So, over the weekend, Kansas City had some unexpected guests. Well, you know that over the weekend was Memorial Day weekend. And we have a World War I museum and dedication space, I guess that's what you would call it, here in the city, right? And a lot of people, flock to that area for Memorial Day. And so this white supremacist group called the Patriot Front, they decided to show up in Kansas City in 3 U-Haul trucks, the big ones at that. It was 3 U-Haul trucks filled with white supremacists. and they came out and they did a demonstration. They did a march, and then the leader gave a speech. So, I woke up Saturday morning minding my own business, and first thing I did was I went on to Facebook and I saw this post that said, "Was there a KKK rally today?" And it was like, wait, what? And so I went to the comments and I saw the videos of them, loading up the U-Hauls and marching. And I was like, wow, okay. So I was like, let me go to Twitter, see what Twitter's talking about. And there it was. They had official videos from them that they did while they were marching and while they were giving the speech. And then, of course, other videos and stuff of other people watching them and discuss, like, WTF. Then, you get people that, are saying, where's the police? Why the police ain't stopping them? Why they just standing there, The police did, for the most part, just stand there, and then they told them to leave when they were already leaving. So, of course, it made national news. People came out and voiced their opinions about it and what have you. And the World War I Museum had came out and made a statement basically saying, that ain't us.
Man.
So don't try to put that shit on us. We love everybody.
Yeah, they tried to clarify that shit quick.
Yeah, they was like, don't even try to equate the two, because it's not. And then, Mayor Lucas, who's a black man, he came out and he made a statement that pretty much saying that, the First Amendment right does protect people from to have a peaceful protest.
Yep.
And to speak their mind. However, we, don't tolerate hate, so. And that's the thing, like, unfortunately, what they did, although racist as fuck, was peaceful. So they have the right to do it. It's so wild when you see the two, because you can see people out there protesting for equal rights or for Black Lives Matter or whatever the case may be, and they're getting met with police brutality. But when you see a hate group that, although are peacefully protesting, they are a hate group nonetheless, and all of a sudden the police know what they're supposed to do. And they know all the rules and the laws, and they're going to abide by them. But hey, who am I? But what are your thoughts?
I mean, just to be quite fair, you know what I'm saying? Like, on the legal side, as long as it's a peaceful protest, they had every right to be out there. Now, what they were spewing, should you subscribe to? No. And unless you're a little dick inadequate Caucasian male, or a loose pussy Caucasian woman, and I'm saying that with the utmost disrespect. That's the only way you should subscribe to that. But at the end of the day, they had every right to be out there. I can't sugarcoat it. I can't lie. They wasn't making a fuss, making a riot. They didn't have a riot. But it should be certain laws, for me, in my opinion. It should be certain laws in place where as soon as it becomes hate speech, it should be shut down.
Yeah. But then you'll go down a rabbit hole of who's to say what is hate speech, and like then you have all these type of, bureaucracy about that. So it's just, what.
And I get it, and I'd rather go down a rabbit hole, because this has everything to do with all parties that are like that, with every religion, with every race, and all that. As soon as you start disrespecting other people, where it becomes hate, it should be shut down. I don't care if you're a Black Panther Party. I don't care if you're a Muslim party, a Christian party, a Amish party, a Ku Klux Klan party. If you want to bring members, you have every right to bring members. I can't tell you who you can't bring to that fold. Will I agree with it? No, but I can't tell you who to bring to that fold. But once you get to talking hate, shut it down. And even the what are those 3%ers and the ones that wear purple to be out there? As soon as you start talking hate about different things, it should automatically be shut down. It should be a way. I was always taught this, and this is just my opinion, and it ain't got nothing to do with the issue we talk or the viewers that are watching it. But I was taught this: if a man can't sway you by his words, then you don't listen to that man. And so if my words are hateful, then I it's no way you should listen to me. But if my words are appeasing to your ear in a way that everybody is willing to listen and you want to follow, it's a big difference. Case in point, you see now like how some Muslim parties move. They don't speak hate.
Yeah.
They steadily get new members because they learned their lesson from it. And that's the same. And I'm not telling nobody, I'm not telling any of you, and listen to me closely because I want to be very respectful to you. I'm not telling any Caucasian to not follow what you want to follow, but make sure in public they're respectful to everybody, because how they pulled up, if you go left, you got to understand this ain't your city, and it's gonna be hard for you to get out there if people really unite. And when I say people, I mean all people, because there's a lot of white people that don't agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what I'm saying. I just want you to understand that. But
I would say it's more
right to do it. You had every right. You had every right to do it, and I would allow you to do it because this city ain't mine. Now, if this city was mine, you wouldn't have brought your cracker ass over here. And I say that with all due respect, but I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like to believe that there's more white people that are against them than for them. If I'm wrong, don't tell me, just lie to me. But that's what I would like to believe. But you know, I didn't see a video where they were, yelling at people that was yelling at them, getting in people's faces or anything like that. Like, even though their speech was hate-filled, it wasn't violent. I mean, what they showed wasn't violence. So they were very disciplined. And they probably had a lot of training for that too. Because that's what you see all the time, with hecklers and stuff like that. You see them getting out of character all the time. Because that's what they get. They get hecklers all the time.
And they would have to, and you know what? This is gonna sound anti-black. But again, I'm just gonna say it on this because you have to go with Caesar's law. If it's a peaceful protest, you can do it. The fact that because it can go left, how hecklers go. If a heckler would have swung on them, then they had every right to do what they had to do. And y'all gonna be mad at that, but that's the honest to God truth.
Oh, that's true. That's true, because as much as you hate what they're saying, you can't
stop what they're saying because they're not assaulting you. You're assaulting them.
Right.
So now they have every right to do what they do at that moment. And that's not me condoning any hate group. Mm-hmm. That's me saying you got to know how to play the game.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, it just is what it is. Like it happened. It was here. It was not a drill. It was the real thing.
It was the moment.
It was the moment.
And so my thing is this. This is one thing that I will say to my city. When you see things like that, instead of heckling, you need to start organizing as well. We have so many of these groups that are so anti this, anti that, pro this, pro that, instead of sitting in the background, hissing and pitching a bitch. Organize.
Yeah.
Organize, because you know what to shut them up? As if 1,000 correlations of everybody that agree with each other, black, white, Mexican, white, Irish, Nigerian, whoever, went on the opposite side of it and started spewing what we need to do to actually unite each other. They couldn't have did anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
These are the times we are in, people. So as much as everybody talk that we really need to unite, we need to get organized and unite. So organizations like that know this is the wrong area to get involved with.
Mm-hmm.
And that requires everybody. I'm not saying there's got to be one correlation of race to do it. I'm so, and it's not like I'm always going to bet on black. So that's not what I'm saying. But at one point, if I disagree and you disagree, and my white homie disagrees, and my Asian homie disagrees, and his Asian family disagrees, and this white family disagrees, and this Nigerian family disagrees, all of us need to be out there on the other side telling everybody what they need to do.
Yeah. 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 I mean, this is the times that we're living in, man. You know, they're pretty overt. One thing that they wasn't was showing their faces outside of the leader. And that's what a lot of the hecklers were saying, you know, to show your face.
Well, I want to keep my job because I work with a lot of black people, Lindsay. What the fuck?
No.
Like, you think I'm about to go back to Costco after this?
Right.
Showing my face?
Hey, but you're so proud. You're so proud that you will leave your town, go to another town to spew hate. If you're so proud, show your face. Let the world know who you are and what you look like.
And a white man to tell you, well, your brother is so proud to be in a gang until he robs a bank and then he covers his face. Like this is the type of time they on.
Yeah, of course.
This is the real type of time they on. Like yeah. I get it 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think nobody is saying that they don't get it. I think that they're saying, you know, if you're so proud and you're so bold, don't be a coward and show your face. You know, it's a coward move, you know, but you can say that all you want to, but shoot, they ain't showing their face just like the KKK didn't show their face back in the day.
No,
you know?
So it's so funny. I just had a white homeboy. His father, no, excuse me, take that back. His grandfather, was, all intents and purposes, a bigot. And one of his jokes, he didn't want to join the Klan, and the reason why he didn't join the Klan because they didn't believe in Catholicism, and that's the reason why I didn't join the Klan. But his running joke used to always be like, "Oh no, that type of guy over there, I already know he has 2 extra holes in his pillowcase."
Yeah.
So it just all goes into, you know what I'm saying, fruition of so what it is. Some people are gonna hide their face and speak their truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's crazy. You don't join the Klan for religious purposes. Not because they're hateful, but for religious purposes because they're Christian.
I'm talking about me and him laughed hysterically about that. Because he knew I was flip. Yeah, crazy. That was the only reason.
Right. That's the only reason. You know,
my
I could have been Grand Wizard by now, but you know, we serve a different God, you know.
We serve the same God, just different rules.
Right. You know, but
Yeah,
But yeah,
that was
I
it.
would have been Grand Wizard if I would have joined them by now.
But they don't like Catholics.
Right. What kind of shit is that? You know? But yeah, it's crazy. You know what? It's a little left. Just a little one. My favorite scene in Django is the scene with them with the hood. I can't see nothing out of this thing.
All I hear is criticize, criticize, criticize.
Okay.
My wife spent
So-
all night on these goddamn.
Right. Right. So we all can agree the hoods were a good idea. But next time, maybe we can do better. That was genius. That scene was so good. But yeah,
You know, even white people know that shit is bullshit.
right.
Not all white people, but white people know that shit bullshit for me.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just imagine, you know, because I mean, they of course they had prototypes and shit. They didn't get it right on the first try. You know what I'm saying? They was just like, let me get these pillowcases and cut these holes. These holes are close enough, right? Here, give me a face. Let me look.
Yeah. Nobody's figuring a person's facial structure out. They're just putting holes in a fucking pillowcase.
Right.
Or a fucking knapsack.
Right? They're like, here, cover your face. Yeah, that scene was so good. But yeah.
Everybody looking like Jason Voorhees from the first movie. Man. So, yeah. You know, and then, you know, another thing is that people outside of Missouri tend to forget that Missouri was a slave state. Yep.
And on top of that, Missouri is very racist. Like it wasn't overt until Trump's first term. It wasn't as overt, I should say. You know, but that Trump's first term, they took their hoods off. Shit. They took their hoods off, man.
I will tell everybody who is actually listening to us, if you actually listen to us, pay attention to certain towns. One town that I will always mention is Long Jack. When you go into Long Jack, first thing you see is a gas station. Now, I don't know if they changed it now because I ain't been to Long Jack in probably about 2 years. But all the murals in the gas station, because they had all these pictures of a bunch of Confederate soldiers. That lets you know what type of time Long Jack, Missouri is on. Long Jack, Missouri is so racist. When a black man became a police officer, they put it in their goddamn paper. They literally made him a target in Long Jack.
Yeah.
That's how racist Long Jack is.
You know what? It was sounding like you was setting up a joke. Long Jack is so racist. How racist is it?
I mean, it could be a running joke, but that's the truth. Yeah. Long Jack is so racist.
How racist is it?
They put a target on a black policeman's back because he had the audacity to want to hold law.
Right.
In a racist little ass city.
Right. Craziness. But Chubby Leopard is watching. Hey, that's that's Maria. She says these days you finance the robes.
Jesus.
And they can get repossessed.
If you get your clan robe repossessed, you really need to reevaluate your values.
Right.
It ain't black people you should be mad at. You should be mad at your moral choices.
Dude, there's a lot of things on the list before black people that you should be mad at. But she says very racist. Yes, Missouri is hella racist. So So the Blackman Show is watching. Hey, he says Lone Jack been racist. Yeah.
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 I know. I worked out in Lone Jack, so I know.
Yeah. He also says, what brought this up? Hey y'all. So we've been our first subject tonight was the Patriot Front protest that they did over the weekend. So yeah. So yeah.
I hate that this is just my sports fan coming out. I really hate that racist people always call themselves a patriot. And the reason why is because America is the land of the free. Why keep oppressing people?
Yeah.
I don't understand that to my core. And the reason why I don't understand that to the core is because, again, we're the land of the free. Everybody in this bitch is an immigrant. If you're not Native American, you're an immigrant, my guy. Let's just cut the bullshit. Let's just say what it is. So why are you suppressing other immigrants?
Yeah. The irony in that, right?
Yeah, it's a slap in the face of what America should be.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not one of those people that's gonna downplay America, nor am I not gonna be one of those people that act stupid that doesn't understand that the forefathers were all on this type of time. But what I will say is it was a contradictory statement, knowing that y'all were gonna do this type of thing.
Yeah.
And y'all came in opposing the people that actually are here. Man, y'all call yourself the land of the free. And I hate that because I love America. I'm not one of those people to be like, we all need to pack up and go to Ghana. I don't know shit about Ghana. I don't know where I'm from, y'all. Like, let's just keep it a bean. I don't know where I'm from. I don't know where my ancestry DNA comes from. I know my father's lineage comes from Cuba. And certain Latino areas, but I don't even know how accurate that the fuck is.
Yeah.
So how dare I say I'm gonna just go to Africa and be more shut down because now I'm this American trying to claim a country? Because they're just gonna look at me like I'm American. You can say, yeah, everybody's packing up and going to Ghana because they're doing this and doing that. A lot of them people ain't making the money you're getting. If you don't understand the truth about that, their money ain't your money. So if you come down there flashing off your money and buying houses, they're gonna look at you a certain way as well.
Yeah, because you're African American. Doing that. So yes, I mean you're African, but you're also American. So you do get, I mean you do get looked at differently. I can say personally, my experience wasn't bad. But I wasn't in Ghana, I was in South Africa, but my experience as an African American wasn't bad. But in the same breath, I'm also a tourist. And tourists, no matter where you go, for the most part, tourists do get treated differently.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was because I was a tourist or if it was because I'm Black at the end of the day.
Nah, because and that's the problem with Black people. One is Black ain't a thing, y'all. Black's a color. Black's not a culture. That's one thing I always try to integrate in people, like, because we've been typecast and we've been brainwashed to say that we're Black. Black is not a culture. We don't have a culture. We can say we started hip hop, we did this, we gave you rhythm, we don't have a culture yet.
No, I tend to disagree with that. African Americans have a culture. African American is a culture.
African American is a culture. No one is ever, and I say this with all due respect, but no one is ever trying to correlate that into actually a nation. That's why nobody respects us.
Well, America's different because we're a melting pot. We have a whole bunch of different people here.
And we have a bunch of cultures that
Yeah,
represent
we have a
yourself.
bunch of cultures. Right. We have a bunch of cultures. So it's a lot of us. It's a lot of different people here.
Until we set up a culture of what African America is, we're always going to be segregated. Because if you think about it, as African Americans, some African Americans don't like that. We see that. A person with, I was about to cuss, but I don't want to cuss on this because I really want to talk intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Some African Americans don't like that you call them that, and they will tell you I'm black, and black is not a culture.
Yeah. Now that is true. Maybe we do need to come together at one of our meetings and kind of like iron out what we want to be called, because some people do not like the African American. Some people don't like Afro American. Some people don't like black. Like, it's whoever you talk to.
Yeah. It's the whole thing. That's why I remember when Ice Cube was doing everything that he did, and I got a lot of pushback because as much as I loved everything that Ice Cube was doing, and I agree with that, the one thing that I used to say all the time is black is not a culture, so you can't give anybody a black agenda.
Well, see, the thing about that, I think this is how I look at it. So, like black, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a culture. However, that's what connects us. So, like, you got the Africans, you got the Caribbeans, you got the Afro Latinos, and then you got the African Americans, and then amongst others, right? But all of us are black. So at the end of the day, that's what connects us. But as far as culturally, yeah, Afro Latino is not an African American. We got two different cultures.
And so that's why I get it. That's why I tell people all the time, if you understand that your descendants is from Africa, then African American is the strong point. Afro Latino, all that African is the strong point. That's why Africans look at us stupid, because they look at us like, oh, y'all don't even know what the fuck y'all is for real. Y'all don't, because y'all won't put it up front. Everybody wants to be this. Everybody wants to be this. Everybody wants to do it. African American for me. And again, this is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Afro Latino. All bullshit aside. But I will say, well, I have Afro Latino descent. I will never know what I'm saying, because I can't apply to a culture that I don't understand until I get an understanding of it. But what I will say is, I know all of the descendants from my mother to my father come from African descent. So African American makes more sense to me. Even Afro Latinos, y'all are in South America. So African American makes more sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just my opinion. That's the horse I'm gonna die on.
Well, we got a lot of comments, so let's go to the comments. Chubby Leopard says, because it was never that, it was a PR lie. Then the Blackman Show says, y'all saw who the leader is? Multi-felon white boy who started the group when he was 19. Think he's 31 now. Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw him. Chubby Leopard says, this has always been a business, a colony to extract from, not a country. She also says, black and brown, want to make the lie true, but white supremacy. And Ghana is also anti-LGBT. Now that one I did not know.
Yeah, that I do know.
Yeah. The Blackman Show says we have culture. Wild how some Africans say we don't, while dressed like us and listening to hip hop and trap. Yeah. Chubby Leopard says they don't respect us because of the lies of white supremacy. I agree with that.
I get that.
She also says we try to build our own things many times and white folks come in to destroy. That is definitely true.
That I understand. And with that, I will say that because I have people to say that to me all the time. That doesn't mean stop doing it.
It doesn't mean stop doing it, but we got to figure out a way to not have it continuously get destroyed because we can't keep building the same shit over and over again. The Blackman Show says which ones get black fatigue, black people or African Americans?
Which ones get what? I'm sorry.
Black fatigue.
Black people.
Black people get black fatigue.
Black people get black.
He also says most of Africa is anti-alphabet.
They are. I'm not even gonna lie. They are.
Yeah.
Like it's some spot. It's some parts of Africa where they will kill you over that.
And that's unfortunate. That's
very unfortunate. I'm just pro people. I remember we had this conversation a long time ago, but I'm just pro people. I don't believe that I should judge you for what you do when I'm not around you. I should only judge you for what you do when we as a collective come together. As long as you're doing things morally. Now, y'all gonna look at the Bible and say this and say this and say that. I will say this. As in Caesar's law, if you are morally doing what you're supposed to do, I don't care whose dick you sucking, my nigga.
All right, so this is another left, and then we're gonna move on. Have you been on Twitter lately?
My Twitter is all over the place. I've been on Twitter, but I probably didn't peep what you peeped.
Probably not, because the people that show up on my news feed, Lord have mercy. So apparently there's this guy that took 96 loads, and people have been really up in arms about this shit.
He took what?
He took.
Wait a minute.
The Blackman Show says pause. Yeah, we're about to move on. All right. And people were like, what? I mean, it was a lot of people like, what the hell? You know, what the helly? What the helliante? Like,
what the hell is Brian?
Right.
What the hell is Cyrus?
Right. And then I saw clips of the video and I was like, whew. Yeah. All right. So moving on.
That's wild. That's wild.
Lord. Yeah. Lord have mercy. All right. So this, yeah, it was pretty bad. Because how? Why? All right. So Chicago.
Niggas, it's niggas that killed niggas ain't that tough.
Man. But yeah. We're gonna move on. So Chicago mayor only hiring black people. So I know this is what you would like to discuss. So here you go.
All right. So, and I'll make it short and sweet. Just because I don't know the politics that goes on in Chicago. But the Chicago mayor was questioned about only hiring black people. And he didn't hesitate. He didn't stutter step or any of that. He just said, yeah. And he said, because black people are more inviting and black people are more family based. He said, you think about it. look at this. How many play cousins do black people have? Because we're more family orientated than most people. Now, as much as I agree to what he was saying, I understand the Dante's Inferno that he caused upon himself with that. Because one, when he was mentioning his cabinet, he didn't mention a name. He only mentioned who they were: black man, black woman, black woman, black woman, black woman, black man. Again, we go back to the whole black thing. We got to stop getting into the idolization of what white people do, because white is not a race either. So that's one thing I want people to understand, and putting this controversy in makes people say, okay, well, why can't he do it? We go back to we'll go into hip hop, like with Finesse when he was like, it's cool when y'all do it, but it ain't cool when I do it. So fuck y'all. So it's like, as much as I respect it, you have to learn to move in better terms, because that's gonna it's gonna make people start questioning your actual intelligence when it comes to moving in government.
Yeah, and questioning the people that you hire on if they're
exactly
the best person for the job.
Yeah, and like, are you actually getting somebody who is actually going to do the job, or are you only getting them because they're black? Because one, I'm going to be totally honest. One, if you're doing that, can I sign up for it? Because shit. And then two, but then two, if they're not qualified, how bad do you want Chicago to keep looking? You know,
yeah,
it's one of those things where some people have to learn the lingo, and he hasn't learned the lingo yet, because I would have never said that out loud. I would, if you're gonna follow a structure of how white supremacy move, you have to understand one thing: most of white supremacy that actually skyrocketed is because they didn't tell you how much of a white supremacist they was.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna play that type of game, you got to know how they play.
Yeah, it's like I think he is aware of all of that. I just think he don't care. Because for you to say that out loud on a platform, you like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying?
But it puts a bad representation.
It does. It does.
Out there. And like, now when I say this, I'll 100% say kudos to you, because that's a dope move. But if I was in your shoes, it would have been a better way I would have worded that. And a lot of that would have had to do with it would have had a lot to do with their experience and everything that they brought to the table. It wouldn't have just been black woman, black man, black woman, black woman. It wouldn't have been that. It would have been like, hey, Shanice, she ever since she started in this, she did this, and this. She was way more qualified than Heather.
Right.
Like,
right.
you got to know how to do that. Like, I 100% agree. If that's all I have in my cabinet, I would look at you and say, why would you even question it if they're qualified to do their job?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have played. Even if that was my goal, I would not have said it past the kitchen table. Like, you don't put a goal out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to have to deal with the criticism and with the quote unquote reverse discrimination, even though that's not even something that's real. But you don't want to have to deal with all that. So you just, you hire the best people for the job and tell people, they just so happen to be black. But in real life, you like, I hired them because they black. Like, but no, you don't admit that.
I'm not a political person. I'm not in any politics. But if it was me and the shoe was on the other foot, if they would have asked me that question, because I have an all black cabinet, I would have looked the camera dead in the face and I would have quoted Guns N' Roses, and I would have said, "Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games." And then I would have turned around and told you how all of the people that I hired are way more qualified than most of the people that y'all think should have been there.
Right. But yeah. And then I would have been like, you know what? There's no longer DEI. So they're not DEI hires.
Exactly.
So yeah. There's just, you know.
I would have said they're overqualified and should be paid more, but this is politics.
Yeah. It's just not something you say past the kitchen table, like I said. Yeah.
That whole
and then his reasoning wasn't
so like the backhanded shit for me was literally the black people are more inviting. You're the mayor of Chicago. Do you know how Chicago get down? On folk them grave, do you know how Chicago get down? They're not inviting at all, my nigga. You should have had a better rebuttal for that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, his answers for it was
on King Von. You should have had a better rebuttal.
They should have took him to the
Come on, man.
Oh man.
On Dookie them, you should have had a better rebuttal for that.
Yeah. It seemed like he was thrown off, and he just, started thinking off the top. Like nobody prepped him for a question like that or something.
But he should have known, and that's why. See, this is the thing, and this is just me. Again, when I say this, I go on my camera. This is my opinion. I think the problem with us as Black or African American people, or to just be in my terms, niggas, is we think that we watch social media and we see what everything's going on, and we see so much Black excellence. We forget that we still got to work 10 times harder than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That should have been in your contingency plan if you knew you were going to hire an all-Black cabinet.
Yeah. So the Blackman Show says, Chicago in here, he likely knows he ain't getting reelected.
100% he's not getting I'm talking about at this point, I'm going to do a Marion Barry. They're going to catch me sniffing coke off a bitch ass. Because I know I'm not coming back.
Well, hell, he got reelected, so.
He got reelected?
He got reelected.
Ooh.
After the video was out. Yeah.
That nigga wild for that.
Yeah. So maybe he do need to smoke a little crack and get reelected. I don't know. So, a little crack ain't never hurt nobody. But... Not true. It was jokes. But yeah. I mean, shit. He probably is like, fuck it. But I mean, if he wants to continue to have a career in politics and be an elected official, again, probably should have left that at the kitchen table.
Yeah, it's just certain things that I think, and it's the times that we're living in. You have to be war ready. So you got to be ready to like really combat that with not only education, but the reason why. And that wasn't for me, even though, I get it. I got a bunch of play cousins. I got a bunch of family that I love. I got a bunch of brothers that I call brothers. That we ain't got the same mama nor daddy. So I get that, but at the same time, that on a political structure is a bad basis to set it on.
Yeah, that whole family oriented and
come on,
Blake cousin. So that's the reason why you hire all Black It was stupid answers. It was just stupid answers.
We're family orientated, nigga. Yet I don't know. I don't know 20 people, and I don't live in Chicago, so I don't know how Chicago works, but I'm pretty sure it works kind of similar to how we go. I don't know 20 people that can tell you the conversations they had with their daddy as a kid. So that just lets you know that right there was a flawed accusation. I might know a couple of them, but if you line up 20 of my friends, 5 of them know they daddy.
Damn.
I mean, this is the honest to God truth.
Oh, so you went from one stereotype to the other.
and it's one of those, and because that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that's and this is the type of time I'll be telling people, like, you got to understand that they're gonna play the game with you. They're gonna go through false statistics, and they're gonna play the games with you like that. So you gotta make it make sense why you do certain things on certain sides of the game. And with you being on a political game, that right there was a false narrative, and a bunch of white people has been shooting that shit down.
Yeah. So the Black Man Show says, like Cardi's money, hire some blacks, smoke a little crack, do a little mo, fired.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So that is the Chicago mayor. So we're gonna get out of Chicago's business.
Yeah, we're gonna get about it. On Took them grave, we about to get about it.
Shoot. On King Vine, we about to get
on King David, nigga. On King David, we out of here.
Right. So yeah. So Trump.
Yeah.
Trump has pardoned quite a few people. The Black Man Show says Hoover home.
Keep saying that.
Yeah. So yeah, Trump has pardoned quite a few people over this past week. And to name a couple, he's pardoned the Chrissleys. He's pardoned NBA Youngboy. And he commuted Larry Hoover's sentence. So Larry Hoover sentence was commuted because he has federal and state charges, and the president can only pardon federal charges. So he had like 6 or 7, I want to say 7 total federal charges. So those got commuted, but he still has about 200 years to serve on the state murder case that he was convicted of.
That's a railroad.
Yeah. So they his son did an interview with the Breakfast Club's Lauren LaRosa to talk more about that, because they are actively working on trying to get him paroled. So so it was a lot of mixed comments about that in the comment section, because some people are like, well, I mean, he still did it, so he still need to serve his time, but some people are thinking otherwise as well. But I was surprised to see, especially in the Breakfast Club comments, I was surprised to see a lot of people like, no, he still needs to be in jail. So and like the reasonings that the son was given, they was not buying him. So but they're still actively working on that. And so he's still in. The Chrissleys are officially out. And as far as NBA Youngboy, he was not in jail. He was not in an actual prison, I should say. He's been in Utah for the past few years to try to keep him out of going to prison. or try to keep him out. Try to keep him out of going to prison, and out of additional trouble, even though he had caught additional charges, being basically on house arrest in Utah, which is so crazy. But he ended up getting out of those charges with paying a fine. So yeah. And I mean, there was a couple of other people too, but those are the top people that that I care about anyway. But
Ooh, that was
yeah.
very lightly, Lindsay.
Yeah, right. So the Black Man Show says, yeah, commuted though. So it's likely been lightened. Lots of people at the crib think he's about to be walking the streets. Yeah, lots of people thought that his that it was a pardon and not a commute too. So they planning welcome home parties and shit, and they don't even know how this works. But that's another story for another day. What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are this. We'll talk about Larry Hoover first.
Okay.
Larry Hoover was railroaded. He had state and fed charges, which last time I checked, I thought that was illegal. But again, I don't really look into it like that, so I can't tell you if it is. But I thought that was illegal. I know individuals that had state charges and fed charges, and they dropped those state charges because the feds picked it up. I don't understand that, but 200 years is railroading an individual. Larry Hoover is an organized Black man. Y'all can talk about whatever criminal enterprise that y'all think he was a part of. I know being a leader of the Gangster Disciples, I really want y'all to really get into the idea and the picture of at one point in life, because I think a lot of people misconstrue gangs. At one point in life, the Gangster Disciples was not what you think the Gangster Disciples are now. Now, in order to do that, it was a lot of things that had to happen. And some of that might not be your cup of tea. And some of y'all might think like, yeah, it was immoral or whatever the fuck y'all idea is. But in order to organize certain people, he had to do certain things, or other co-founders had to do certain things that legally nobody liked. That doesn't mean that you give a man 200 years. I know personally, I've seen people murder children and get less.
Right.
So yeah, he was railroaded. So I understand his son's fight. At the same time, I will say this. As a person that always tells people like, hey man, at one point we have to understand biblically what the Caesar's law is. And if Caesar's law says he got 200 years, we just got to see if he can get parole. Now, getting parole on 200 years is fucking mad business. But if he gets a chance to go home, 100% get his man a chance to go home. He went to jail when he was a very young man, and I know he's a different individual. Y'all let white people, and I want to say this with the utmost reasoning so y'all get this. Y'all let white people do the most immoral shit in the world, serve time, and come out and be kings.
Yeah.
So, and I'm saying this to everybody. Everybody. If y'all do that, why are y'all, even black people, why are y'all hating on Larry Hoover? Case in point, I ain't even gonna say white people. I'll throw that out the window when I say this. Mike Tyson is a goddamn icon. Y'all love that man's dirty draws. This man got companies. He got literal weed strands and edibles of ears of people that he bit the fuck off. And y'all think he the shit. and y'all or all of y'all are up in an uproar of he might get out. Come on, man. It just don't make no sense to me.
So you're not a Mike Tyson fan?
I'm a Mike Tyson fan. I understand if I can agree to that, then I can agree to Larry Hoover coming the fuck home.
Yeah.
Simple. It ain't got nothing to do with anything else. It's if you can agree to this, why you can't agree to this? It doesn't make any sense to me. And Mike Tyson literally tells you like, sometimes I still got the urge to like, a snatch a baby. I'll punch him, and I'll kill his babies. Like he still says this shit.
Because he's Mike Tyson,
And y'all love him to death. This man just had a fight where he walked around with his ass out, and y'all just like, I hope he wins. Like, get the.
Because it's Mike Tyson,
Yeah, because it's Mike Tyson.
What can you do? What can you do? It's Mike Tyson.
Larry Hoover was a part of a coalition before the GDs became a tyrant. He was a part of a coalition that was actually organizing things. Say what y'all want. The GDs was actually organizers. Yes, it's a gang, but they were organizing things. Y'all don't talk about none of the things that the Gangster Disciples was doing positively, because they were doing a lot of things.
But that's the same the way that they did the Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, are we surprised?
Well, I don't understand that. Now, with NBA Youngboy.
Hold on, before we move on, the Blackman Show says he only pardoned the black man and pardoned the white people. He should pardon Tory Lanez and press charges on Meg. Well, he can't pardon Tory Lanez because that was a state case. And why would we press charges on Meg? She was a victim. He also says it's not illegal to have state and fed charges. And then he says, I wish y'all could play my video of the Blackstone Rangers, one of the other major gangs at the time, on this American Bandstand type show. They were trying to change their image by signing. By signing what? What did they sign?
What did they sign?
Yeah, you have to send that to me so I can see what you're. Oh, they were trying to change their image by singing. Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense why they were on the American Bandstand. So yeah, you have to send me that. So yeah, okay. So NBA Youngboy.
NBA Youngboy, this is how I know Trump is he's just putting his fucking orange nuts on the table with NBA Youngboy. It's like, Jesus Christ, because I don't, and shout out to NBA Youngboy. NBA Youngboy up 5,000. This is a guy who
I like him, by the way.
You said what?
I like NBA Youngboy. He's actually very talented.
I don't have a problem with NBA Youngboy. What I have a problem with is NBA Youngboy, whatever deal he signed, had so much backing that he's able to not go to jail, not go to the feds, go to a podunk town, live his life, sell pills, get caught, pay a fine, and still do what he does. He never served a day in jail, y'all. He still was free. He just he couldn't go back to the place that would have sent him back to jail. This man was trapped in his podunk town trying to figure it out and got a pardon, so now he can do some fuck shit is amazing to me.
Oh, he's definitely gonna do some fuck shit. Get in trouble again.
If Rick James never said it best, I will say it right now. They should have never gave you niggas no money. God damn. Like, and I like NBA Youngboy. I swear to God, bro, I like you. I just know that time in Wyoming didn't change you.
No. I was shocked that he got in trouble out there because I'm like, damn, he is on house arrest. He can't go across the street. How is he running his organization and still getting in trouble? Like, the whole point of you going to Utah was to not get in trouble. Like, what? That's why I'm like, I hate to say this and I hate to put this out in the atmosphere, but it may be low-key a wasted pardon because you're going to get in trouble again. And I don't want that for you. I hope it doesn't happen. I pray it doesn't happen.
Right. But you didn't learn any. Listen.
Right. But the odds are forever not in your favor. Like, what?
And yeah, and I'm going to just keep it. You 100% right. And bear with me, y'all, because when I say this, y'all going to think I'm dissing this man. This is a dented head nigga that is so crazy that he wanted to fight one of his baby mama's daddies. One of his baby mama's daddies that he wanted to fight happened to be one of the best boxers in the goddamn world. This man is off his goddamn rocker.
You know, he had to be high as shit to do that.
This man is off his goddamn rocker. And I like you, NBA, but nigga, you were the type of young nigga that literally is out there to be showed that you not the toughest man around. Because had you would have stepped to Floyd Mayweather, he would have put more dents in your motherfucking head, my nigga.
Dude, like,
but moving on.
Yeah.
The Chrissleys. The Chrissleys, excuse me. Sorry. The only person that is upset about that is Doug. Because now he is not around all those beautiful men that he was around. And y'all can, it is what it is. It is.
I mean, you know, when
I'm not
I first
upset
saw
about
that
it.
show, right? When I first saw this show, I was like, well, I'm confused because this man is clearly gay. Like,
I'm talking about
too sassy for me. But
brand new clear coat paint job gay. You can
right,
see.
Right. You see right through it. Like, I was so confused because I'm like, what are we doing here? Because I can't be the only one in on the joke, and my gaydar is broken.
That man had the time of his life.
But that came out in the case though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's what I'm saying. That man had the time of his life in there. And they said, hey, you leaving. He said, the spa? I'm leaving the spa. I'll fuck around and stab one of these motherfuckers.
Oh man. Yeah. If I was any one of them, I mean, I would be happy I'm going home. Like,
he ain't.
Well,
the plethora of dicks he had.
But I wonder how that's gonna work now. Like, is his wife gonna divorce him since that shit came out? Or
hell
what?
Nah.
Yeah. And then they got a show. Like, they had already announced that they was gonna have a new show. Yeah. They announced that right before they got pardoned. So yeah. But they coming back. They gonna have a show. And I like the show. A lot of people like the show. So
he gonna say some shit with pure disdain. He gonna be like, "Ooh, I'm so glad I'm out." Because he's not. But he ain't.
The Blackman Show says in prison they called him Sexy Pound Town.
You know, so
I'm weak. I can't.
You know, the funny part about that is they probably did. I didn't watch this a lot, but I know my girl loves to watch it. The only thing I remember is when he was like, maintenance of yourself is everything. So that lets me know that nigga kept his ass bleached and his throat moist.
Right. You know, like a couple weeks ago, I came across a clip of them trying to teach one of the, I think it was one of the grandkids, math. And the wife and one of the sons was trying to teach it. And it was like you had $10 and the whatever he was buying was $7.14. How much were you gonna get back? And they kept going, you're gonna get $3.86 back. And they kept like, they were dead ass. It was like, and he's looking at them like, are y'all stupid? Like what? And he did the whole, if Johnny had 5 apples, like he turned into that on them. That shit was funny. I was cracking up. He was calling them all kinds of stupid. He was like, I don't know what's more stupid, me watching y'all teach math or y'all teaching math. Like so
that's the sassiest black white mama I've ever seen in my life.
He really is. He really is. And that's what they were saying in the comments. They was like, that black mama came out of him. But he really is that. And that's probably the reason why a lot of black people like the show, because that's what he was. He was a black mama. He was a black mama. So we'll see. We'll see. Because I'm sure that show is gonna get a lot of viewership when they come back. So yeah. We'll definitely see. But yeah. Also, Trump did, like, he was asked if he would pardon Diddy if he got convicted. And he did not say no. He said that he will look at the case. He said he hasn't talked to Diddy in years, but they were friendly. But he will look at the case, and if he felt that they were treating him unjustly, he would go on ahead and do it. So yeah.
Translation means that man got to pay for me fucking somebody that's underage.
Shoot, I took that as translation. He got to pay, but I'll get him out. So either way it go, Diddy ain't doing no time for real. If he get acquitted, he ain't doing no time, and if he get convicted, Trump will get him out. Because these are Fed charges, so he can do it. So, yeah. And I was just like, yeah, I knew that was coming. I knew somebody was going to ask him. So, yeah. Because Diddy got the money. He got the money to give him. So, So, yeah.
That's America.
This is definitely America.
And my Childish Gambino voice, this is America. Listen. Right. You can be as morally corrupted as possible, but if you have the money, they don't care.
Yeah.
And I love America. America's is where I was born and raised. Never gonna disrespect America, but at the same time, America got some shit that they got to clean off their shoe.
That shit done dried up and everything.
Yeah,
sat in the sun.
You got to go through. Yeah, you got to go through a whole real whitewashing of it, or America just needs to buy some more shoes.
It needs to buy some more shoes. But that shit is petrified at this point.
And it just is what it is. It's like we can't be blind, because you'll have a bunch of people to be like, nah, it's certain people that are immoral. No, the powers to be in America is immoral. And that's not me saying that I hate America. That's me saying that I know it needs to be cleaned up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. But yeah. But speaking of Diddy, now let's get into our Diddy update.
Diddy update. It's the oil gate. Johnson chimed in. Casey said, she fucked some twins, put some dicks in her mouth and got some sausages and some bump in her shit, nose off her head. I like, yeah, yeah.
Take that.
Take that. Listen, and I know we ain't gonna talk about it right now, but I will still integrate this. If you do so many freak offs where a doctor says, bitch, I don't know what that is. It's a problem.
Like, you got me. I like to go back to the book on this one. You got me.
That's just like Dr. Now looking at you like, you just about to be fat.
Right? Like, I don't know. I can't help
to be fat. You said you do what?
Right.
And you still you about to be fat.
Right. Like, right. You know. Yes. So, this is week 3 that we just concluded today of the Diddy trial. And outside of court, there is some congratulations that are in order. Cassie had her baby. She had a baby boy. Congratulations to her. So,
you better love on that boy to death, because once he get older, once all your kids get older, they're gonna question their mama.
Yeah. Once they Google the year that he was born, and all this Diddy shit pop up, and then they see you. Woo.
Because children are cruel, and children don't. Children lack understanding. So the first thing they do is children criticize, and I can only go off of experience. Children criticize. I criticize. This is the left. I criticized my mama for a long time until I realized who my father actually was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's the thing, and she has to understand that she's gonna go through that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though at this point she's a victim. Even when she was agreeing to certain things, that was a victim mentality. But her kids are not gonna believe that, and her kids are gonna throw that in their face.
Yeah.
Especially having a white daddy. And I hate to say it like that, but that's the honest to God truth. Especially having a white daddy. All he needs is 3 cognacs and a bad day, and he's going to be like, and your mother was a whore! And they're going to go for that.
Yeah, prayers for the fine family. Yeah.
I'm sorry I laughed at that. For real though.
All right, so let's go on ahead and get into this. So, they started back Tuesday because of the holiday or whatnot, and Capricorn Clark took the stand. Capricorn Clark had been mentioned a lot during the trial so far, because she was like one of the head assistants for Diddy, and she worked with him for a really long time. Excuse me. With Capricorn Clark, so in a nutshell, she is from the West Coast. She had worked for Death Row for a period of time, and she also was close friends with one of Suge Knight's baby mamas. Then she met Diddy socially, and she ended up moving to New York, and she ended up finding out about a executive assistant position. Then when she got more details about it, she was like, oh, well, this is Puff's company. Let me go ahead and contact him directly. So she contacted him and whatnot. Then she ended up getting hired. When she got hired the first day, because Puff ended up finding out that because like everybody do background checks and stuff. So he ended up finding out her affiliation with Suge. So Puff on the first day ended up taking her to Central Park. It was him, one of his security guards, and her. And from her testimony, she pretty much says that he threatened her. He threatened to unalive her if we were to find out that she's pretty much an undercover agent for Suge. When that was told or whatnot, of course, you know, she's telling her story through tears, off and on, and what have you. However, for me personally, that part in particular, I'm not mad at Puff about. I probably would have done the same thing because I'm giving you a chance. And if you a fucking double agent, bitch, I'll kill you. You two, like, I probably even shouldn't give you a chance, but I'm doing it.
Keeping it 100%, I will keep it a real being. Dude, I said that out loud at the job, and everybody was like, what? And I'm like, everybody in my job, they didn't grow up like I grew up, so they don't understand what was going on in the era of 1994 to 1996.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not mad at Puffy for that. Like, did he flex his muscle? Not too much because he didn't do it in Cali, but in Central Park, yeah, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Because now you're in you out of your element, so I can play these type games with you.
I don't give a fuck where we was. If I am hiring you, and I found out that your affiliation was with my arch nemesis, and I'm still giving you a chance, I'm gonna let you know straight the fuck out, bitch. Don't cross me, because I will fucking kill you.
That I get 100%, but you know, you wouldn't getting that shit off in no park in South Central or Compton.
I'm still doing it. I'm still gonna threaten your ass because
we would never even have a Puffy trial if he did that shit.
Yeah, but
like he plays chess, not checkers.
Right. But to keep it 1,000, I wouldn't have gave her a job. I'm sorry. I can't have people around my circle that's affiliated with my arch nemesis. I don't care how solid you are. I don't care if your intentions are 1,000% pure. I can't take that risk.
But see, that shows you, and I'm glad you said that because that shows you the type of power-driven type of time Puffy was on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I would have never gave her. Once I found that out, she would have been out the door.
Yeah.
Just because.
And I'm sorry.
I not even on no extra Tupac and Biggie shit on the fact that this nigga's a thorn in my fucking spine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this stuff goes way past Tupac and Biggie. Like they have been arch nemesis for a really long time. So yeah, I can't take that risk.
Yeah,
the fact that he took that risk, and you trying to get me to be on your side about
Shows
this
the type of
threat.
power hungry man he is.
Yeah, but you trying to get me to be on your side about this threat. Like, no, because think about it. I'm not like, I would never be on your side about that threat. I don't give a fuck. Like, because you shouldn't have been hired. At the end of the day, you should not have been hired. But he took a chance on you and he let you know straight the fuck up. Bitch, don't cross me or I kill you.
Again, that's the more and more I'm looking at this, because I've said this on the podcast. I don't understand why this is a RICO case with only one person. And now when certain people are coming to the stand, I'm realizing, oh no, all of these niggas turned fed.
Yeah.
Like, all of these niggas were indicted and all of these niggas turned fed. That's why it's just Puffy there.
I don't think they were even indicted.
Right.
That's normally what we see, right? Because like, if you go back to the Young Thug case, it was a lot of defendants with Thug, but then they all started turning because the main person they wanted was Thug. You see what I'm saying? I don't think nobody got charged with anything. I think that they was coming to them and they probably was threatening them, or maybe they didn't even have to go that far with a threat. But they was coming to the people while they were building their case against Puff. And these people was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? And because they're building such a strong case against him to be like the head nigga in charge, basically, they're not even going to waste their time to like try to prosecute somebody that he instructed to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like an assistant.
I mean, and I get your understanding, but I also and this is just, you know, I hate to say it like that, but this is just me knowing individuals that went to the feds. A motherfucker ain't got nothing to do with nothing. They could have just been like, nah, I get my coke from him. I ain't never did any big deals with him, but they'll still threaten you with jail time. And then and that fast, you'll sign that affidavit so you won't go to jail. Now you're on fair time. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of them did. They just ain't gonna say that out loud.
Yeah, but this is the thing though, because like I've said before, I watched several people that is covering this case, and a couple of them are lawyers. One of the lawyers that I watched said if they were to have gotten immunity, they would have let that be known at the beginning of their examination or whatever. They would have let that be known. So the fact that a lot of people they're not saying that, they don't have immunity. Like, the only person we know for a fact that has immunity is the one where they signed that paper right then.
100%. And I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this. Because this is what informants do. Mm-hmm. You get caught up in a RICO and you get charged with the first thing you do is you start telling, because you didn't have nothing to do with nothing. Yeah. And so what they'll do is they'll make you sign this paper to say, all you have to do is make a statement. You will never serve jail time. You would have never served jail time in the first fucking place. But a lot of people don't know that.
Right.
And they'll sign that and they'll go in there and they'll tell on that nigga. Mm-hmm. You know, this is the dirty game that the feds play.
Right.
But it's legal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think a lot of this had everything to do with that's why this is a RICO case, because they was pulling everybody in. Assistants, lawyers, drivers, escorts, all of this, and these motherfuckers was like, I'll sign the paper to roll on this nigga, because what I'm not about to do is go to jail because I put my dick in this bitch mouth when she had a bump on it.
Dang, she had to have a bump on it?
I mean, she said that. I didn't say it. She said it first.
But yeah. Yeah,
I think that's what's happening now. That now that everything is getting played, I'm like, Now I know why it's a RICO.
Yeah, and that's what people are saying because I've even seen lawyers that have been like they are not proving a RICO, and once we got to this week, they were like, okay, we're starting to see where they're putting things together, which I figured because. I mean, we was talking about we don't see a RICO after the first day, and it's like, okay, but they got weeks. They got weeks to prove this case. So, yeah. So yeah, I think it's starting to come together with the RICO charge, but for me, like, I just think that he was just using the people that worked for him to do whatever. And even though they were like the people that signed their checks was the company, but they was working under him. So he was just having them do whatever.
Exactly. That's how and this is how RICO case work. Like, listen, a nigga can be making $300,000 a year pushing dope. You could be working with this man and you only at best you clearing 25. But when you get caught in that, the last thing you want to hear is when they tell you, like, yeah, if we take this to trial, you can serve up to 50 years in prison. Because when the feds do life, they do life for real. Right. And so niggas get to telling. Niggas don't hold water. And I think that is what happened with a lot of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of people that was around him in his close circle are up there on that stand telling it all. One of them being Capricorn Clark.
That's what I was about to say. Now bring it back to her.
Yeah. So like I said, her first day. So she said, Diddy would go through a lot of mood swings, would threaten her, put his hands on her. He went to her house in the middle of the night, and this was around the whole Kid Cudi situation. So he went to her house middle of the night, told her to get up because they go into Kid Cudi house and she's coming with. And so she was like, they kidnapped me because I didn't want to go. You know what I'm saying? Get her in the car, take her over there, and him and his security go into Kid Cudi's house while she's sitting in the car. So while she's sitting in the car, she called Kid Cudi and was like, hey, Diddy in your house. And so that's how Kid Cudi got pulled into that particular scene or whatnot. So they ended up leaving or whatnot. But
yeah, they went on a high speed, which Kid Cudi did not say.
Right. There was things that Kid Cudi did leave out, that Capricorn did say. And then, eventually he got his car blew up with a Molotov cocktail that did not explode properly. And that's the reason why those pictures just show like damage and not like complete smithereens, Now,
pause on that.
And
I'll just say this. Puffy had to be on some real fucking I am untouchable, where a flawed blow up makes him be like, I don't give a fuck. Like this nigga, y'all, I keep saying this. And I'll say this until the end of this case. If y'all don't understand that Diddy is a problem, then y'all just rooting on for the fact that this man is black. And again, we said that earlier. Let's stop integrating that whole we gotta look out for black because sometimes that shit ain't right.
Yeah. But anywho, so so she, you know, she told that whole Kid Cudi story. She filled in some gaps on that. Then she started, you know, talking about her situation, how she had gotten fired, and then she wanted to still be in the industry. She was still trying to get work. It wasn't working out because her name was pretty much mud. And so with her name being mud, she had to, you know, eventually go back to Bad Boy. So she worked off and on with them for, I think, almost 20 years. And so through the times that she wasn't with them, because she was making, like, I think they said like about 55,000 a year, but they also paid for her home and paid for her car. So during this time, when she would be off, she was, you know, looking for work and wasn't getting paid the same amount, when nobody was offering her position or whatnot. And she had a meeting with Jamie Iovine from Interscope, and he pretty much told her, you know, leave that Diddy shit alone. So she also talked about being overworked and underpaid, and how she was getting sick because she was so overworked and whatnot. She also talked about when she wasn't with him, how she lost her home, she lost her car. She doesn't really have that much help. She has a nonverbal autistic son, and she doesn't have any parents. So she doesn't really have that much help with him. And she's still trying to recover from that. She also talked about how a few years ago she had sued him, and I think they settled. And then one of the things that had to be done, or one of the things they agreed upon in the settlement, was that he would write a reference letter for her. So that was talked about as well. That actually was talked about in the defense, because the defense tried to use it against her, and, you know, just basically saying like, well, if he's such a horrible person, why would he write this letter? And they showed her the letter, and she was like, yeah, that wasn't in 2021 like y'all trying to claim. That was actually in 2012. And I wrote it. I wrote it and he signed it, but that was agreed upon in the lawsuit. So it kind of backfired on the defense when they brought that up. But yeah, she just, you know, she's been having a rough go at it since then. So that just really shows the power that Diddy had, you know, just pretty much over her and her life and a lot of people's life, you know. And I guess they were trying to illustrate the reasons why people would continue to still work with him, even though he was this quote unquote horrible person, you know. So
because
yeah.
he was the industry.
Yeah, he was the industry, and he was at the top. And this particular industry is very small.
Yeah, so it's like, we really have to understand at one point that we got to stop acting like this is a rapper that we dealing with. Mm-hmm. We're not dealing with a rapper.
Yeah, and that kills me when they say he's a rapper. Like when the news calls him a rapper, I'm like, yeah, he's not that.
We're not dealing with a rapper. We're dealing with somebody who literally was making power moves to take over conglomerates. This is a man who, all due respect, on the business side, is so shady that he does diabolical things to people. And he got to a point where he thought he was so powerful that he was untouchable. Mm-hmm. Case, I'm gonna keep it totally 100. I don't give a fuck if Puff Daddy don't spend a day in jail. I don't. But if y'all don't realize that that man is a problem, then that's on y'all. That's on y'all. Yeah. That man could not serve a day in jail, but if the world was right, he would never make another dime. Yeah. I'm not saying that we're gonna make him broke, because you're not gonna make Puffy broke, but he will never make another dime because of the person that he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man. Y'all let Dame Dash go broke just because y'all don't like his business tactics. Y'all never heard about this nigga squeezing nut out of a bitch's vagina so he can rub it on his nipples.
And as disgusting as that is, it's not illegal.
It's not illegal, but it lets you know what type of man the man is. On top of trying to dismantle a woman's career.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that I got to write my own letter for him to sign is disrespectful.
The fact I got to
every
sue
fucking
him.
level.
The fact I got to sue him for a letter because he pretty much made my name mud in this industry, and I can't take care of me and my son. Yeah. So
That's
another thing
that diabolical human, man.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Unfortunately, another thing that she spoke on, is that she felt like Cassie can't really sing. She called her a studio singer and said she wasn't on Whitney or Mariah. Which that goes to the whole him having control. Because for the life of me, before all of this happened, when I found out that Cassie had a 10-album deal, that legit made no sense. Because at best, she was a one-hit wonder. You know what I mean?
I mean, let's keep it a total bean. She's not lying in no given way, shape, or form. But again, at the same time that I say that, there's no Whitneys. There's no Mariahs.
No.
So I understand where she stood from.
No, 100%. 100%. And she wasn't saying it in a shady way or anything.
Exactly.
Like she was just being honest. And that goes to what I'm sure the majority of us was thinking. Like, cause she really ain't that girl when it comes to the vocals. So why would you sign her to a 10-album deal?
Exactly. That's what you would do to a Mariah or a Whitney.
Right.
You wouldn't do that. So I get it. She was 100% correct when she said that.
Yeah. So again, that got brought up because it's painting this picture of that control that he had over Cassie. He had control over her career, and he would hang that over her head every chance he got. He had control over her body. You know what I'm saying? And whenever he lost control, he lost control. Like, so that's playing into these charges in a roundabout sort of way. It is playing into it. Is. So yeah. That was the extreme abbreviated version of her testimony and cross-examine.
It is. I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure you about to say, what do I think? I think that was a big slice and the defense of Puffy. One is that lady kept it she kept it 100% legitimate. When they really tried to bring it up, like, why would you do that when he did this and did that? And not only did she say it was false, it's evidence to prove that it was false. So I think if we didn't think that this was about to get bad for Puff, this should tell you right now that this is about to get bad for Puff.
Yeah, this wasn't his week.
Because not only did that happen, it was also brought into light that the whole shit with Don, when motherfuckers like, why you trying to be on this exercise now when you was doing this type shit?
Are you talking about with with her ex-boyfriend Q.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where it's like, oh shit. Like my thing is, how I think about it is, oh, this was a hit at Puffy's defense, and once a motherfucker see an opening, oh man, especially dealing like this, oh man, it's some shit we about to hear. That's gonna be crazy. Like,
yeah. See, the thing with the Don and Q thing, and this is it's a slight left, but Q from Day 26 and Don used to date back in the day, and Q has told this story about how he took this pill from Don and said that Puff gave it to Don to give to him, and he thought it was X, and it ended up being a tranquilizer pill. And he pretty much had a bad trip, and he thought that they were going to sacrifice him. I think that's what he said. So he's pretty much been mentally messed up ever since. And he's told us that he was mentally messed up ever since this incident, but he never told us the incident until this past week.
and I mean, shit. You sit before all of this even happened, man. You seen that man and his quote unquote brothers like cry about this shit.
Yeah,
These niggas done said they done shed tears about this shit.
Yeah, they have, like, because the man is messed up. He's on meds to this day behind that shit. So, and I've seen stuff like that happen to people in real life, where they think they taking something and then it's actually something else, and they're messed up for life behind it. So
I mean,
it definitely happens. It definitely happens.
Shout out to Candace. My sister lost her life because of that type of time.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? I understand that completely, and I understand where he's coming from, and now I understand why them niggas was crying in that interview.
Yeah, because he ain't been right since, you know.
Yeah. And so the thing about that, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the thing about that is that's why I remember I told you Don is only doing this for a money grab.
Yeah, and she got eviscerated when she was on the stand by the defense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, because I mean, the Don situation, that girl was with the shits.
She was with all that shit from the jump.
Yeah, she was with the shits because she was the one out of Danity Kane that he kept. He fired all of them except for her. He built another group behind her. You know what I'm saying? So
she was down with all that shit.
She was definitely with the shits. So it's like now all of a sudden you're coming out and you want to sue him, and you're putting all this extra sauce on your lawsuit, and then I'm willing to bet that her lawsuit is going to be dismissed because of her performance on that stand. Like they eviscerated her.
Yeah, that shit gonna be thrown out, man. Come on, man. And my schoolboy Q voice, down with the shit. Down. She was down with the shit. Yeah, she was. So, and then she came out and made a statement, you know, pretty much treating him like how the defense is treating these victims on the stand. So, and how she was treated on the stand, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right. But that's pretty much that situation in a nutshell. Back to the witnesses. The next witness that they had, on the stand, was a cop that responded to the call when Kid Cudi's car was on fire. So this cop pretty much testified that when he pulled up to the scene, there was a black SUV that was close, and he memorized the plate, but he didn't put it in a report or nothing like that. But because he memorized it, he got back and he ran the tags. When he ran the tags, it went to Bad Boy. It went to Bad Boy Records. So that pretty much puts
somebody, if not Diddy himself, somebody affiliated with Diddy on the scene.
Yeah.
He also said that when they were examining the pieces from the Molotov cocktail, that it was several fingerprints on it. However, over time, because remember, this is like almost 15 years ago. Over time, the fingerprints got destroyed or disappeared. They don't have them no more. So they asked who got rid of them. Of course, he don't know. But at the end of the day, they got rid of. So after that day, when the cop said that, the next day, the defense comes and they're like, hey, we want to put out there that we're going for a mistrial because y'all are putting that out in the atmosphere that you're trying to imply that Diddy had these fingerprints destroyed. So they argue back and forth about it. The judge said, I'm not going to grant you the mistrial, but what I will do is I will instruct the jury to not use that comment when they go and deliberate. The problem about that is it's already out in the atmosphere. You can't take it back. So
it's there. Even with the whole Kid Cudi thing in a nutshell, I've been knowing about this shit for years. This shit already been out there. Motherfuckers been telling motherfuckers like, hey man, Puffy crazy motherfucker. You know he blew up Kid Cudi car. Like, that's why that nigga don't make music no more. Like, this has been a thing. So in our minds, I ain't gonna say our. I would say in my mind, I'm thinking Kid Cudi came out to a fucking waiting to exhale moment where your shit just in flames. Like,
right.
That shit been out. Whatever he's saying, that shit already been out there. We didn't even need that policeman. We didn't need none of that. We've been knowing about this shit. Mm-hmm. This is how we was like shit. And then I ain't gonna say we. Again, I'll just talk in my mind. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, that nigga probably been on some dangerous shit ever since that Pac and Biggie shit. That nigga been on some I survived dealing with that East Coast, West Coast beef. I don't give a fuck about Kid to fuck Cudi.
Yeah.
Like, we've been on, and they can say that all the time, but that ain't, and then just speaking on just what it is right now in the legal terms, you're not gonna tell a juror that he has to erase his memory. We're not raised like that. None of us are NPCs. We're actually human beings. We ain't gonna forget the shit.
Right. I mean, it's just already out there. And that's what they're pretty much saying, that the prosecution did that shit on purpose because they knew more than likely it would probably get stricken, but you can't take shit away from people's minds. So they're kind of playing a dirty game with doing that.
They playing a total dirty game, because I can guarantee you that cop, he could have been on the scene, but that nigga didn't do that. He ain't the one to memorize. He didn't memorize the plate.
I don't think he memorized no plate.
Yeah, he didn't memorize no plate. What they did is, they did their due diligence to watch camera footage, and they seen that shit, and then they just addressed it to him, and he was willing to say he memorized the plate.
Yeah.
Like,
he wrote the plate down. You know what I'm saying? He profiled it and wrote the plate down.
Yeah, like, nah, that wouldn't. It was way bigger than. You have to understand, or not you, Lindsay, but y'all that's watching have to understand that in that era, what we were going through was a law enforcement called the Hip Hop Police. And the Hip Hop Police, they probably still are running now, but I know they stopped talking about them around 2019, 2020. So around that time, everybody was being watched. Puffy was just paying people the fuck off, my opinion.
And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he did have police on the payroll. He probably got police on the payroll every place that he got a house. You know what I'm saying?
It would only make fucking sense.
Right. I would not be surprised at all, you know. So what they are implying could 1000% be true. However, it wasn't something that you're supposed to say. Like what they're playing, like we said, is a dirty game.
Yeah, they're playing a dirty game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and that's not being cruel, because they play a dirty game to innocent individuals. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, sometimes you got to play a dirty game for dirty individuals, because you never know who's in their pocket.
Yeah, that's true. So that mistrial motion got denied, and so they moved on. So then the next witness was Deontay Nash. Deontay Nash is a friend of Cassie's, and they're friends because he was her stylist, and he was also off and on Diddy stylist. And so he got up there, got on the stand, and he is a person that's part of the community, and he's out and proud, and he has a personality on him, and he put it on display. Apparently he was up there, you know, cracking jokes, or you know, and
getting to the meat and potatoes, nigga. I get you trying to be right for YouTube.
No. I'm just saying, because I'm trying to paint the picture, because they're saying that up until because I've heard several people that's been in the courtroom every day. They were saying that up until this point, these New York jury members have been stereotypical New York, straight face. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until he got on the stand that you start seeing them crack a smile, that you start seeing him being relatable to the jury, and he pretty much won over the jury. You know what I'm saying? So he's the type of person that they could believe. You know, they believed him 100%. And they said that, you know, the defense lost that day when they cross-examined him, because he pretty much, you know, told them the truth, and he was not apologetic about it, and you know, and it made sense.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, I know you want to put that out there. I'm saying, say what the fuck he said.
Okay, so he was. We heard about a story when Cassie and Diddy had got into it, and she had two friends that were helping her fight him. He's one of the two friends that helped fight. So he talked about that fight. He also talked about how he's the one that hooked her up with Michael B. Jordan. And he also hooked her up with a football player. I forgot the football player's name, but when she dated a football player, it was because of him. And he would, you know, when Diddy would confront him about it, he would tell the truth, like, yeah, I did. And he told the defense that too, because the defense was like kind of beating around the bush, and he was just like, hey, I know where y'all going with this, and I'm the one that set him up. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, man, this say what he said. Like, he was like, and I did that, and I did, and did, and like that was the whole thing in a nutshell. Like, he like, and did,
right, and did.
And do,
so what's up?
And will do. Like,
and I'll do it again.
Yeah, right. Like this is this the type of time my man was on. Like, so
yeah, he was very unapologetic.
Yeah, like that's what, you know what I'm saying. That was the meeting, but I'm like, nah, like I get what you were saying because you want people to know, but I'm like, nah. He literally like, nah. I seen this and I said this and I didn't like that shit, so I did this over here, and we'll do it again and bye. Like this is,
and wish a nigga would. So yeah, so I mean that's pretty much in a nutshell. You know, his testimony. He you know, pretty much talked about his time and how they were you know, like real cool, and how but sometimes Diddy would get physical with him as well. There was one time where they went to a gay club and Diddy was mad and told them that they can't go out no more. And then they went out again. And so he yoked a homeboy up and was like, didn't I tell y'all not to go out no more? There was another time where he saw her getting ready for a freak off and whatnot, and they would be in the hotel room and that he was asleep, and she woke him up and was like, yeah, one of the escorts is about to come, so we kind of need you to go on ahead and exit. So he went on ahead and exited, but he did see the sex worker come. So so he was a witness to a lot of the things that he's being charged with and whatnot. And then they also talked about how he still was in communication with him. He would be in communication with him through text, and he would be in communication with him on social media. And the defense tried to bring that up to him, and he was just like, yeah, you know, I did, because I don't have nothing against him. Like, I don't hate him.
The money.
Yeah, he was like, I don't hate him. So yeah, I would congratulate him when he did X, Y, and Z and whatnot. Like, we were around each other for years. So I'm still gonna, you know, give him props for the positive stuff, you know. So
I mean, let's just keep it a total bean. And he's there for the money. I already told your bitch that this ain't the one for you, and your bitch continues to stay. At that point, I'm out of it. And he put his hands on me because of your stupid ass still staying here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we want to talk victim shit,
yeah,
that's a victim.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be your friend, bitch. And your man putting his hands on me?
Mm-hmm.
Man, come on. Yeah, at this point, I'm only after the money. I don't no more getting the dick and pussy business. Like I told y'all a long time ago, that's why you stay out of dick and pussy business.
Yeah.
Especially when you're getting a check over it.
Yeah.
And that's what he was doing.
A lot of people were involved because they were getting a check at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody outside of her mama was not on the payroll.
Like, yeah, you're not gonna say nothing. Hey.
Yeah.
And as much as everybody like, nah, I wouldn't have let that shit win that. If you were living in poverty and a couple of 50, 20, that ain't enough money. But if you didn't have nothing, yeah, Puffy is God sent to you.
Yes. Yeah. But this
let's not act like these people didn't have nothing to lose. And that's what they were
everything
doing.
To lose.
That's the whole conundrum of what a victim is. Because a lot of, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people will paint the picture of they wasn't victims because they see they were. This man was literally holding a livelihood over their head.
Mm-hmm.
So and
he was verbal about doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you are a third party and you don't break it up or anything like that, you're just like a witness to it, you can have some residual effects from it. So you can be a victim because of it. You know what I mean? So like that does happen. That's PTSD.
Man, come on. everybody in this that's listening to us right now, let me say this off experience. Go defend somebody. Like, boom, 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 boom. Get off her. Bop, 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 bop. And that nigga throw you up against a wall like you ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
Watch how fast you stop defending her.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, I ain't necessarily mad at the people that didn't intervene because, like you said, you ain't supposed to get it. You said it in a different way, but you ain't supposed to get in between man and woman business.
You're not supposed to get in the dick and pussy business, y'all. I'm gonna keep saying it.
Yeah, but and I was just talking to somebody this morning about it because that when you get in between that, your opinion can change about that person for forever. But the victim and the aggressor will not stop dealing with each other. And then you forever are feeling some type of way about the situation. And now you're supposed to put on the face because your person is back with that person.
Yep.
You know, so you
or
just
waited forever because that happens. And then all of a sudden, she don't hang out with you no more.
Yeah. Right. Right. So,
you know what I'm saying? Or he don't hang out with you no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been on both ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I went through one situation when I was younger with my mother. Like, that's how I know how much all this DV shit means to me.
Yeah.
And then I went through one situation where I can't even, I'm trying to say it professionally, but real talk, beat the brakes off a nigga in order to have the same person I was protecting heal this nigga.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm out of this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get it. And then it's an added layer when this person is the reason why you get paid and can live the lifestyle that you live. So I totally get it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I totally get it. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. In the same breath, the irony is not lost on me that the one time that a man did intervene, it was a gay man.
You know what? I didn't want to say that, but I'm gonna keep it a bean.
Yeah.
And this is just my opinion again. It doesn't reflect off of the issue we talk. This is why I don't understand certain men where they act like they tough, but they real yes man when it comes to money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that.
Right.
Me as a person I am, and I know just me, period. My life that I took, I rather took a job to deal with some of the shit that I was dealing with when I didn't have a job and I was making money. Some of these niggas is weird, and I end up doing something to y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just keeping it a total being. That's why I don't understand how a lot of these niggas is they coming out now because now that nigga locked up. Or now that, you know what I'm saying, now he's got some shit coming. What I was always taught is you ain't supposed to be talking about them niggas now that they get, because you know eventually they come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they ain't gonna produce that shit, nigga, because at first you was cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't say shit to them, and you know you didn't. You you'll talk that shit to the media, or you'll talk that shit to the hood, like, I've been told this nigga weird, wow, all this. You know that nigga about to come out though.
Right.
And you gonna have to answer to that.
Right. But that's the part that kills me because it's like you got all these big security people around you. They around you 24/7. And one of the witnesses said, you know, they not here to keep the peace. They here to keep Puffy from getting hurt. So if Puffy is the one causing the violence, they just gonna stand back and let the shit happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I'm saying. But now all of a sudden they want to talk. Right. But now all of a sudden they want to talk and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, but y'all just allowed him to do this basically. Like, but then in the same breath, I get it. I get that you don't want to get involved.
You don't want to get involved because of the money.
Yeah, you don't want to get involved because of the money. Because, I mean, it can have a big residual effect on your life if you get involved. But, so I do get it from that standpoint. But in the same breath, like I said, the irony is not lost on me. And, you know, a lot of people like to look at gay people like, or gay men like they ain't real men and stuff like that. And that's the one person that stood up for her like a man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what be killing me when people be having that mindset about gay men. And I'm like, the gay men are the bangers at the end of the day because they had to fight all their life. I mean, they the bangers. But yeah, but
true.
Yeah.
I can't say you said not a lot.
Yeah.
What I will say is this. I'm with you 100% with nigga. That's kind of crazy because, like you said, you got all these big ass security dudes. Like, it would have never been a situation where, and that's just me. I'm not in those shoes, so I can't tell you how these people are supposed to feel. But I will say, just because of what I went through and because of my trauma, Puffy would have never been able to do any of that shit if I was a 6'3", 215-pound solid muscle man. You think I'm gonna let him whoop Cassie at? Bro, you need to leave. Because I can stump the shit out of both of y'all.
And that's my thing, because I'm just like, why wouldn't somebody just pull him to the side and be like, yo, what are you doing? That's a female. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part that just like, that takes me beyond, because I'm like, did nobody pull him to the side and be like, bro, what is this? What are you doing? You know?
Nah, as soon as I seen you getting loud, I would have just stepped in front of you. And I would have told you, like, I'm doing this to protect you.
But then that's the thing. Going back to what we talking about, like, people were paid by him. So they didn't want to interrupt their lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not interrupting my life. If I see you and Cassie yelling back and forth, bye, 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 all this whole extra shit where I know y'all getting into an argument, I'm right there. Hey, boom. What the fuck you doing? I'm making sure you cool. This is my job. Let's get you out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people got to realize that, and I get it. Money is makes people shut the fuck up. Money don't make me shut the fuck up, especially if it's something that I give a fuck about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing about it is, and I hate to say it like this because motherfuckers gonna think that I'm on Puffy's plea, but if I love you, Puffy, I'm never gonna allow you to put yourself in this situation.
Yeah.
I'm not. I know I'm just security. But I'm never going to allow you to put yourself in this situation, bro, because if you fuck yourself up, then my life fucked up, my nigga. So I got to make sure you good. Like, it's too many yes men in the world.
Exactly.
There's not enough real niggas in the world.
Exactly.
And piggybacking off what you said, it's so sad that somebody who was Cassie's friend that happened to be a part of that community was the only motherfucker that stood up when you got niggas 6'7", 300 fucking pounds, didn't turn around and say, Puff, you know you can't do nothing to me. I'm gonna walk you out, bro.
Yeah. Right. One of them could have picked him up literally and walked him out of the room.
Exactly.
Him to cool the fuck down.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, like just gave him a pep talk. Like this ain't the road you want to go down, bro.
Yeah, this ain't it, fam.
Right. That's a female. Like what is that, Friday?
Yeah.
Like, that's a female. Yeah. So like nobody, like how much was the security getting paid? Cause that's another thing that came up with a couple of them assistants. They weren't getting paid what they should have been getting paid for the shit that they was doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, shit, what was the security getting paid? Because what is your price to just stand there and shut the fuck up?
That's why I'm like, man, I couldn't have. All these motherfuckers talk about how much they love niggas. Like, I don't understand what people. I don't understand how people don't get that. Like, this is my livelihood. This my nigga. I can't let this nigga go through a wrong path because I don't want to be the one. Because everybody want to switch sides. Y'all, we were cool at first, but now y'all want to switch sides. Be like, yeah, I knew this nigga was weird from the jump. I didn't understand that shit, but you didn't say shit, my nigga.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you were there, you loved that nigga. You loved everything that nigga was doing. So why didn't you say, hey, man, you tripping? Like, I just wouldn't have never let it happen. Like, when I was 70 years old, I would have been like, yeah, I knew Puffy was weird as fuck. You know how many times I saved this nigga's life?
Yeah.
Like, that's the only time I would say something because I know I'm about to 86 out this bitch. So what I'm about to do is tell y'all my life story real quick. Nobody really knows it. My great grandkids, I'm about to tell them some real crazy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But other than that, like, we would never be going through a trial right now. Because they'd have been like, why that nigga got so many millions of dollars just as a security guard? Like, you know, he wanted to suck this random dude's dick, and I made sure that wasn't in public. Like, the type of time I'm on. Because I love this nigga, and I don't want you to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Them niggas didn't love him. They were just caught up in the money. And they wasn't even making enough money for you to be caught up in. But that's the thing, when a nigga holds your livelihood over your head because you agreed to some wrong shit, you gonna just be there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And he was you know, holding things over their head, you know, that could land them in jail, you know what I'm saying, or embarrass their whole family and stuff like that. You know, he was on that type of time.
Yeah, all that shit with Kid. I wish I was a security guard and the motherfucker was like, we about to go to Kid Cudi's house. I'd be like, hey man, listen, if we don't go to a strip club or something, like, what the fuck are you talking about? I know you mad, but you be fucking bitches too, nigga. Like, what are you doing?
Dude, like, he fucking bitches like 40 going north, and you mad at Cassie about Kid Cudi?
Man, come on, dog.
Like, is it your pride? Like, I think it was his pride more than anything, because it was like, Kid Cudi just stole your bitch, dog. Like,
I get it, and I get it, but at the same, as a security guard, at that time, I'd have been like, "This, you gonna fight a nigga over him? You about to burn this nigga car up over this mentally ill nigga? This nigga tell you he's mentally ill. Don't do that."
But furthermore, you about to burn this man's car up over a bitch that you let escorts fuck on?
Like,
this ain't your baby mama. This ain't your wife. This is a chick that you are seen out in public with, but in real life really ain't your bitch.
Ain't your bitch. You can't even fuck her into a nigga nut on her titties. Like, what are we doing?
Right. And this is who you about to crash out over?
As a security guard, I was like, my nigga, like, what are we doing? Like,
you can go get 5 more that look just like her. Why are we about to crash out and throw the whole empire away for this one? What is it about this one?
Nah, it couldn't have been me. I'm talking about. I think that's why God didn't make me a big guy. Even now, like, if he hired me as a 5'7" security guard, I would still would have turned out of all them big niggas. I would have turned around and been like, "Hey man, y'all get the fuck out of here, Puff. What the fuck you doing?" Because, nigga, I know, and I ain't doubting Puff, not for no shape and form, because I don't know this man. But at the same time, I don't think nobody from New York can beat a Missouri nigga. We are cornfed. Like, he'd have swung on me. I'd have threw that nigga to the ground like, Puff, nigga, I love you. Like, you tripping.
Right. Love. Like,
love. Cassie, go and leave. Like, you don't need to see this. Like, I would really like knock some sense into him.
Right.
Not
Like, what
only
is
am I
B
about to
doing?
fuck Puffy up, I'm about to tell Puffy like, hey, like listen, she can fuck everybody that comes in this room. I will allow it. What I'm not about to let you do is fuck your career up because you mad that this nigga couldn't bust a nut.
Dude.
Like, I'm not about to, you're not about to take that out on her. At best, you want me to beat that nigga up? Like, I'm on that type of time. Like, do you want me to beat him up? Like, you want me to force the nut out of him, basically? Like, I would rather you do that.
Right. Like, this
Then
shit
get
is
to a
crazy.
situation where you let this woman get pummeled for some shit this nigga did.
Right. This shit is crazy.
Like, I just, for the life of me, of watching this shit, I'm just like, as much as I heard, I said it on the last podcast. I'm not saying Cassie is a victim. At one point, she was with the shit. What I will say is, the people around should have been off the flip, understanding that she is only doing it for a business deal, and you can't let him overstep what business is.
See, I can't 100% agree with that statement because Cassie is a victim. Full stop. Now, what she's a victim of, y'all can debate. I'm not going to debate that. Y'all can debate. But is she a victim? And it's a yes or no question. Yes, she's a victim.
Okay, like I said on the podcast before, I agree. She started off as a victim. And I've said this before on plenty podcasts. This is why I always say, man, you need to watch out for predators, because what ends up happening is when predators don't get caught, victims end up becoming a predator or a villain. I've said that plenty of times on this podcast. So, and I'll say it again right now. I will never say that Cassie was not a victim. She was, but at one point she stopped becoming a victim. And so I know what I'm saying, and that's not downplaying her, but I really want y'all to understand that this is the whole not Munchausen, but like Bowder-White syndrome, all of the things that I know I lived through. Yeah. At one point, people stop becoming victims and think that's normal.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I'm trying to, I'm not downplaying what Cassie went through, but I'm saying at one point, people start believing it is normal. That's how torture was created, because they'll warp a nigga mind enough to think that is what they supposed to get done.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to put it in the category of that. Like, she at one point she was a victim. She was 18 years or 19 years old. She was starstruck. She was fucking anybody in the industry that could make her famous. Let's just keep it 100 on that bill. But that's no downplay to Cassie when I say this. She only knew how to do this. She didn't have a game plan or no mentor to tell her how to make it to the industry. She just ended up messing with somebody that was a dangerous individual, and then after a while, she got used to the shit and thought it was normal.
Yeah.
So she stopped becoming a victim. It's only when you stop believing that shit is normal is when you stay a victim. Text messages and all that confirmed that this was normal to her.
Yeah, it did. They did prove that, she was with the shits on some of that parts.
Yeah.
But like I said before, she's definitely a victim now of what can be debated. But was she a victim? Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So
she and emphasis on was.
Yeah, because I would hope in the present time she's not a victim. I would hope that this is a better situation,
Now, when I say was, I mean in the mix of this whole love, Diddy, Puff, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She was a victim. and then she stopped becoming a victim.
Mm-hmm. Got you. I got you. All right. So, the next witness that they had, they called this person Mia. This person has filed a lawsuit against Diddy, and she chose to be anonymous in her lawsuit. So because of her choosing to be anonymous in the lawsuit, she's anonymous in the trial as well as a witness. So they are using the name Mia when they identify her. They were like the courtroom and the overflow room was able to see her, but they had to put their phones away. They were not allowed to make drawings of her or anything like that because they want to keep her under wraps. There has been people that have been putting two and two together to find out who she is because of the key points that have come out. Also, the bailiffs or whatnot, the government pretty much said that they are watching, because it's a lot of people that are covering this story. So they said that they are watching everybody, and if you pretty much let the cat out the bag on who she is or anything that can identify her or whatnot, they're coming for them, and they could possibly get jail time for it. So they're not playing no games. But like I said, people have been putting two and two together, and they've been figuring out who she is. And because she worked for Diddy, she was an assistant for him for some years, and then she ended up becoming an executive at Revolt Films. And she, talked in detail about the working conditions that she was under when she initially started. She said she didn't go to sleep for 5 days. And it wasn't until she pretty much checked out mentally that they was like, you know what, maybe you should go home and get some rest. So, and she talked about, taking Adderall to keep herself up those 5 days. And she did that because she thought that's what you were supposed to do. She had to move in with Diddy because he wanted his assistants to work there around the clock. For a period of time, she was being overworked tremendously because he was supposed to hire a second assistant and he never did. Then she started talking about being SA'd. And she went into the instances when it happened. She told about 3 different examples. She said that there were more times, but she doesn't remember them all. Because she suppressed a lot of her memories. She talked about how, this was a big opportunity for her to work for Diddy, and how she was scared that she wouldn't be able to work again in the industry if she ever told or anything like that. She was the other person that jumped Diddy when Diddy was fighting Cassie in that room. So, yeah. Then there was a couple of other times where Diddy threw a computer at her and missed. Like, he threw it at her head and missed one time because they were on a video shoot and the Wi-Fi wasn't working. And they were in the process of fixing it. And she went and told him that they were in the process of fixing it. And he got mad at her and told her she needed to fix it and threw the computer at her.
That's definitely cocaine behavior.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. She talked about a particular time when she was on her cycle and he had told her to go get everybody because they was about to have a meeting, and she told him, give me a second. And he got mad and started cussing her out and stuff. And she was like, no, for real, give me a second. I have to go change my tampon. And she was like, it was literally running down her leg, and he flipped his wig because he wanted her to do what he wanted now. And that was a mess. He would take her phone, and he would use it for whatever reason, and she didn't want him to go through it and see how she's talking about him and his mood swings and all that kind of stuff in like group chats and stuff. So she would be real scared and try to get her phone back, and because she's trying to get her phone back, it was a big ordeal to where there was one particular time where he ran into a room and closed the door on her arm. And there was other examples that she gave of the physical abuse. He threw spaghetti at her one time. What else?
That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just keep it 100. Like, or if I'm trying to be your assistant and you throw spaghetti at me, I'm gonna be like, man. All jokes aside, I'm about to beat your ass.
Dude. He's kicked her out the house before. She would try to say something to HR about the situation, but of course HR works for him too, so they would be like, yeah, I mean, that sucks for you, but did he want me to suspend you? So she would get suspended without pay.
HR can't do shit to the CEO.
Yeah, like it's craziness. It is craziness. So yeah. And like I said, he was essaying her too. According to her, he was essaying her. So yeah, that was a lot. Her demeanor was very like real timid. She spoke very low and whatnot. They ended up ending with her Thursday and then starting with her Friday. The defense tried to cross-examine, but they cross-examined her, and it didn't go too much to their liking, in cross-examination. So yeah, that was Mia.
Yeah, I don't. I was interrupting you with all the other puffy stuff. I can't interrupt you about this.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go into the detail of what she said in regards to the essays.
Yeah, but her testimony was very hard to listen to. Yeah, and not only that, because I'm like listening to her, like I'm not saying everything that she was saying is accurate, but what I will say is her approach and her tone was very afraid.
They said she didn't look up, she didn't even look his way.
You know what I'm saying? Is that was a detail that I paid attention to, because I was like, dang, even in a courtroom where it's witnesses and bailiffs and a billion people in your mind, and you're still afraid of this one person, right? That's what kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, damn, that's wild for real. Because I was looking, like, I seen how, like, his shit was flawed and how the defense was really shutting this shit down. But and I watched this today. This ain't, what I'm saying? This wasn't I was, what I'm saying, trying to pay attention to anything during the week. I ain't even gonna lie to nobody. I was watching it today and I was just like, that was real disturbing to me on what they were saying and how timid she was and how they literally was like, no, she don't even want to be filmed type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
kudos for her for getting out of the victim mentality, but being afraid at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot for somebody like that to actually speak.
Yeah. Through the fear.
Yeah, that. I've been telling y'all Puffy a monster. But that right there for me, I ain't saying it's for y'all, but that right there for me, let me know, man, there's some shit that's about to happen and we about to listen to, that is going to be very, very disturbing.
Yeah. I think her testimony did it for a lot of people, to be honest. Because there's been people that was affected by her that wasn't even affected by Cassie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be I'm gonna be 100% truthful and say, yeah, I get it. They brought her up there as a pregnant woman, and yeah, she's been through domestic violence. We see it's evidence. We seen all that. Again, and this is me trying to make light of a situation. If you agree to juice a man's love juice out of your canal and put it on a man's nipples, some of that shit you were cool with. And I'm gonna do it like that because I don't, for what we're talking about, I don't want to take light on what she went through, but I'm just saying, I'll reinnovate, man. Yeah, sometimes you don't become a victim no more. This person and everything that she went through, now that's a victim. That's somebody that could not recover from what actually just happened to you.
Yeah. And and that's kind of where, the defense was kind of coming from when they cross-examined her, because they was just like, you're claiming that you were SA'd, but you still worked for him. You claiming that you were SA'd, but you post about him, you send these text messages and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, yeah. She did that. She did that, but
still a battered wife syndrome.
Yeah, I mean, you can make that same argument for a wife that stays. You know what I'm saying? But this one is different than Cassie, even though Cassie's was bad. And not taking away from how bad Cassie's was, but this one was different because this one was a young girl trying to get in the industry. She comes in working for the company as an assistant. She eventually got promoted to work for Revolt Films. And this was the industry that she wanted to be in. She had hopes and dreams and aspirations. She's working for one of the big wigs in this industry. Mind you, this is a big industry, but it's a small community. So with it being a small community, there's only so many places you can go once you try to go up against a big name like Diddy.
Exactly.
So with all that going on, it's like, what can you do? What can you do? Like, you're getting physically abused, you're getting mentally abused, psychologically abused, and now sexually abused. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot that lady went through. It was a lot. Can you imagine, like, all you ever wanted to do, like, that is your dream job, is work somewhere in this field, and you get the opportunity to work for the Sean Combs of Bad Boy Entertainment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a shot in the dark for a lot of people, especially a lot of young people that don't go to school for this. You know, they coming in as interns or assistants and stuff like that. Like, this is their foot in the door. This is them getting hands-on training, you know, on the job training. And this is in the field that they want. They are loving this. They are loving this. They're living for this. And then you find out that this person that you have idolized for however long is a madman. But you can't do nothing about it because your dream is bigger than the abuse, because you feel like you're strong. You feel like you can get through it. It's just a matter of time before he sees my talent and sees my worth. And maybe when I move up, I'll get treated differently. Everybody goes through this when they're at this level. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to hype yourself up to stay, to make this okay in your head.
Again,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you said that, because this is what I've been trying to tell people that are listening to us right now, and then people that I talk to all the time about this. It's a big difference between Coke, what they call her?
Cassie?
No, not Cassie.
Oh.
The woman that they're calling her by a different name because they don't want her.
Oh, Mia.
It's a big difference between Mia and Cassie.
And
Cassie signed a 10-album deal and was pampered. And Mia was getting paid enough to survive.
Yeah. And to go a step further, it's a big difference between the Mias and the housekeepers in the Smokey Robinson situation.
Oh, man, listen.
A huge difference. Because like we said when we were talking about that, which Smokey Robinson and countersued, but when we were talking about that, we was like, you a housekeeper. You can go get a housekeeping job. But when we talking about this Diddy shit, you can't get fired from Bad Boy Entertainment and expect to go down the street that Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't think that Russell Simmons and Diddy talk? When they see that on your resume that for the past 2 years you worked for Bad Boy, why did you leave? And then you can lie about it and be like, oh, we just parted ways. Oh, I got laid off. You don't think that they gonna go ask Diddy? You don't think they got
exactly.
Diddy? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can't. It's not that type of situation where you can just be like, oh, let me go down the street to Violator.
I never even correlated them two, because them that shit, man, that shit that don't make no sense. If motherfuckers is trying to correlate that shit together, I'm just like, do you not understand that, like, a housekeeper is vastly different from a motherfucker that has to, like, go by your daily means of making sure that you keep getting money. All she got to do is make sure your kitchen is clean.
Yeah.
That's bad. I never even fathomed to even put those in comparison.
No, I'm just saying, because I know when we talked about the Smokey Robinson a couple of weeks ago, we was like, you could have been like, I'm not gonna sit up here and let you rape me 20 times.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Not for no
housekeeper
job. Right. When
you know how many houses I can vacuum in this neighborhood alone?
Right. I can go get another housekeeping job. But what you can't do is go get another assistant job for a mogul.
For a major conglomerate of something that you want to be a part of.
Right.
Like, no.
Yeah.
That person, Mia, is somebody that I understood as a victim.
Yeah. 100%. And you know what I was thinking too? Because I was thinking about this earlier, and I was just like, what would I do if I was in that situation? Like, if this man taking one of them instances where he essayed her. If this man did that to me, if I was in Mia's position, how would I play this? And it was like, I honestly don't know how I would play
it. I would always chop it up on people's moral compass. Are you willing to die on everything you believe in?
Mm-hmm.
If you're willing to die on everything you believe in, then yeah, you would have said something right then and there. But if you have compromised certain things in your life to suit your needs, you're not moving on your moral compass. Therefore, you don't know what you would have did in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And humbly talking to everybody. That's just the honest to God truth. Y'all can die on that high horse like I never would have let that happen to me. But if you have ever been in a situation where you were tested, and you stood true to you, that's the only person that I'm gonna agree to stand in that lane. But if I seen you getting tested and I watch you waver, you can't tell me what Puffy could have did.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't, and that's me talking as a man and me being the honest to God truth. I had to learn to stand on my gumption. So, and that took a while. And because I had to learn to stand on my gumption, if I was young and somebody like Puffy would have been in the mix, I probably wouldn't have learned it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, it's just the honest to God truth. Some people got to learn. Some people, they were born and raised with that. And those people I love to death because some people get on their own resolve.
Yeah.
But I'm just not one of them people. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like I had to learn to be a part of my own, like to know what my gumption is. Like without a shadow of a doubt, this is what I'm gonna spaz out the fuck for. I learned that. Some people just that's innate, that's in them from birth. It wasn't in me from birth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I say that, it could have been, but I didn't have no. I grew up in a single mother home type of jazz. I didn't have a man trying to tell me what it was to be a man. So it took me to become a man to realize where my gumption lies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you never know what you are gonna do in those situations.
Right. You really don't. You really don't. Because I mean, I really sat there and thought, and I was just like, I really don't know how I would play that. You know what I'm saying?
It's a big thing. Like shit, if Puffy would have got me at 17 and was like, I want to make you an intern for Bad Boys Record. I ain't no telling what I would have did at that point. One thing I will say is he wouldn't have been able to touch my cheeks. But
that's where you draw the line.
That's where I draw the line. I've been drawing that line for a long time. I knew what I liked. I knew what I want. But at the same time, ain't no telling at 17 what I would allow Puffy to do.
Yeah. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just being as realistic as I could possibly be. Shit, at my age now, I still don't know what I would have done. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's a lot that comes with being a whistleblower. It's a lot that comes with, going to HR and telling somebody. And she talked about how she went to HR and told on things, and they was just like, yeah, that sucks for you, but he wants us to suspend you.
Yeah.
You know? So, and then there was a time where she talked about somebody telling her that there was about to be a layoff. This is when she was working for Revolt Films. And when she heard about the layoff, she was trying to unalive herself. Well, she didn't try. She was talking about unaliving herself, and she was sending texts to a couple people about it. And that's when, Diddy reached out to her personally and was just like, I'm gonna call your parents. You need to call me. You need to blah blah blah, because, and I guess they were trying to paint the picture that he really did care for her, but she was so, so gone mentally with the job, because, this was something that she really wanted, that, to the mere thought of it no longer being, center,
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
even with saying that, and I'll wrap it up like this.
Mm-hmm.
Two things can be true. Puffy can be a complete monster, and then Puffy can get to an age where he understands what he was doing was wrong, and he tried to rectify it. But when those skeletons come out, you have to be able to acknowledge those skeletons and whatever bag comes with those skeletons.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'll just say it like that. Like, I'm never gonna say that Puffy is a tyrant of an individual as we're talking right now. I won't say that. What I will say is the things that Puffy has done was not only diabolical but detrimental to people's livelihood. And we can talk about the trial right now, but let's just talk about the business tactics of Puffy, and forge it with the outside ways of how Puffy was handling business. At one point, Puffy thought that he was untouchable and everybody was a fucking commodity around him. Nobody around him was an asset. Everybody was just a usable force on his chessboard. Like, they were just pawns and everything that Puffy wanted to do. Now, is that Puffy now, or was that Puffy before he got locked up? I don't know. Probably not. He probably was trying to really be love. But again, you can't outweigh your past when it's that fucking heavy.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to change. And you should be able to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people that did that. But at the same time, if something in my life or something in my past life happens to come up where it's detrimental, where I know I was wrong at that point, I just have to go with whatever consequence happens to me.
Yeah. What you're saying, that it kind of reminds me of that case that happened not too long ago, where there was a man, I think he did a robbery, and he got sentenced to like 15 years or something. But he was able to go home and wait for them to tell him when he was to report. Well, they didn't tell him for years. And within the years, he rehabilitated himself. He started a company. He got married, had kids. And then all of a sudden, they're like, yeah, so about that time that you owe us.
Yeah.
And they, picked him up, sent him to jail. And everybody was like, he changed his life around, and they was trying to get him out and whatnot. But it was like, in the same breath, he still owed that time because he did do that. So it's like,
yeah, he still owed it. Like, it is one of those things where you still owe it. The truth of the matter of, like, however you did to do whatever you needed to do, that was great. You better be glad that they allowed you the time to make sure that your kids were safe. But now you got to go.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is what it is, and I hate to say it like that. But it's the honest to God truth. At one point, if you were doing some wrong things in your life, you got to reap what you sow. I'm so glad in my life I never did anything so detrimental that I had to that my whatever I sold was detrimental to not only my character but my livelihood.
Yeah.
But yeah, you reap what you sow. Again, I've been adamant on saying Puffy is a monster. Now, when I say will I say that Puffy didn't try to change his life? Nah, I won't say that. He 100% tried to. What I believe, he 100% tried to. But again, you can't fight those demons. When them hellhounds come on you, it ain't nothing you can do about it. And that's the honest to God truth. I mean, and that ain't me being on no religious nothing or no spirituality nothing. This is just me on some. This is what I was taught and my Black history. When them hellhounds come on you, you're gonna get bit.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. They're gonna bite you. They're gonna send you where you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is, week 3 of the trial. So yeah, that is our Diddy update.
Body oil, baby oil, baby oil, body oil, baby oil. Johnson, you niggas, boy.
So yeah, I don't have any final thoughts. So Jerry's final thought. Take it away.
Sometimes I always try to like enlighten y'all with certain things that I say and my Jerry's final thoughts. But I'll say this. This is gonna be nowhere near enlightening. Some people might think this is disrespectful, but I'm being totally 100 when I say this. Why in the fuck do we need to worry about what Papoose, Easy the Gun Captain, Remy Ma, and Carissa has anything to like? Why are we worried about this in social media? One thing I will say about this is none of these people are relevant, and not to downplay any of them. Respectively, get your money, but it really does us in the African American community a disservice for us to make this a vocal point of anything. I am so tired of hearing what's going on in these people's life. All 4 of these individuals, besides them being collectively somewhat famous, they're all 4 of them, and I'm going to keep it totally 100 with everybody that is listening to me because I want y'all to understand this, and I want them to understand this. None of y'all are attractive enough for us to give a fucking fuck. Real shit. And that's Carissa Shields, great boxer, beautiful woman. Not my speed. Remy Ma, rapper. At one point I thought she was a lyricist, but Papoose said that he writes her bars. It's all right. Beautiful woman. Papoose, you a man, nigga. All men are ugly to me. Easy the Block Captain. Yeah. You probably could out-rap me from sun up to sundown. What you would never outdo is out-rap that fucking gap in your goddamn mouth that makes you look like a goddamn chipmunk. None of you niggas are attractive enough for us to worry about what the fuck is going on. Why are we still doing this?
Wow.
Why are we still doing this? Like, and I get it. I understand. Like, they are celebrities. Well, Remy Ma, Papoose, Chrissleys. To keep it a bean.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we still doing this? Like, why don't we let this go? Like, let this go. Let them deal with whatever they got to deal with, and we should not have this. Should not be on my news spread. We got to get a hold of ourselves, people. Like, and AI tech. Like, nobody. Like, let that shit die where it is over there. Everybody in the world shouldn't know about their business. Let their business be their business. Period. And as always, take care of yourself and others.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with your final thought. Definitely have to agree with that.
Yeah, this shit's wild. I'm like, man, come on. I'm watching 4 people. I'll say 2 people. Let me not do that. I'll say I'm watching 2 people go back and forth, and I'm watching their significant others get dragged through the mud and have no business even being on camera in the first fucking place. Or battle rapping.
I don't see how she even let Easy the Black Captain smell it. Like,
I'm not, I want to say what I want to say, but I like Remy Ma and I want to respect Remy Ma, but Remy Ma is a cop hound. I said it.
You said it's a cop hound?
She's a cockhound.
Oh, a cockhound.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it is what it is. She's a sniper. I knew she was a sniper when she was getting head in her first video. Like, what female rapper gets head in their first video? Not only gets head, but she looked like she getting her dick sucked. This is a wild bull right here.
Yeah, she did.
Like, this wasn't no. She didn't look like she was holding this nigga head down on no extra shit. It looked like she.
Right, like, who does this? Like,
yeah,
what woman does that?
Yeah, this is a wild bull right here. And Papoose loved every bit of that.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna make that my wife.
Yeah, he loved every bit of that. And he didn't understand that this type of woman is dangerous. And he found out the hard way. Like most niggas do. Most niggas knock up a woman and realize, oh, this is the wrong woman. Just like women. They'll be like, oh, I love him. I can't wait to have Charlie baby. And Charlie ain't shit.
Charlie ain't never been shit. Ain't gonna be shit.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. Papoose like, I can't wait to marry her and have a baby. And then he realized, like, God damn, she ain't shit for real.
I wonder when did he come to this realization, because she wasn't shit before she shot her friend. She wasn't shit when she shot her friend. She wasn't shit in jail. She wasn't shit when she got out of jail. Like, it was like he got even more attracted to her because, they got married before she got sitting. So
yeah, it's
like, yeah. And he almost caught a charge behind her ass.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? That's the crazy part. There's a lot of people don't understand that shit. Like, and he didn't catch a charge for doing extra shit. He caught a charge for, like, really just loving this woman and sneaking food and shit in there.
And he wore a key. Remember that? He wore a key to court as a necklace pendant. And the key looked like a key to unlock some handcuffs. So, yeah. He was doing stupid shit.
That's how you know you messing with the wrong type of woman. Because as much as I know my sisters have the audacity to not be shit, and I got 10 of them, let a nigga do the shit that Papoose was doing. Man, they'll beat the brakes off a bitch to even come close to a nigga like that.
Dude. And he was getting on TV every week professing his love for her. And this bitch ain't shit, boy.
Dude, and that's why I be telling people, like, as much as people want to act like they just going through the rigmarole, this nigga loved her so much. That nigga had a song every day pumping from different artists about Remy Ma being free. That nigga made that shit. You know what? I ain't even listen. Again, like I said, I just don't. We know too much.
Yeah.
Now that we know so much about it, why are we even letting these? And I say this with all due respect. Why are we letting these people intervene with our real lives? Carissa, Papoose, Remy Ma, y'all have something to live for. And that's it. Remy, you fucked up. Like, Papoose the one that makes the better sense. Just because of what we see, what he got. You can't make that make sense.
Mm-mm.
You can't make that. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. You sound like a person that is selfish and bitter. Anytime that you even post and you know this nigga foul, like you know, But again, I want to be so off this shit.
Yeah, I'm cool on them because I'm not even a Remy fan. Like, I like a couple of tracks, but I really can't stand her voice. And yeah, and I don't like when she was on State of the Culture, I didn't like some of her views sometimes. So I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan. So I'm cool. I'm cool on it all. Like, it ain't got shit to do with me.
Yeah, I know this Jerry final thought was longer, but like, yeah, it just let's just not. Let's just not, y'all.
Yeah. Like, I'm good with never talking about him again.
Yeah, let's just not. Because you know who's gonna be good? The cool folks. Papoose and Miss Shields, man, they cool without this. So let's stop talking about this.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
So, yes, this was episode 160 of the Ish We Talk, and we will see you guys for episode 161. Bye.
Exactly.